है कि तुम जूनियर्स को ना इतना ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट होती है कि तुम सीनियर से ज्यादा रिसर्च करके बैठे हुए होते हो कॉलेज के बारे में, है ना? तो तुम लोगों को पता ही होगा व्हाट युवान इज, बट स्टिल मैं बता देती हूँ कि युवान इज इंडियाज बिगेस्ट नॉट क्या कहते हैं लिटरेचर एंड फिल्म फेस्ट टू एवर एग्जिस्ट, एंड इट्स ब्यूटीफुल बिकॉज आई नो मैंने ऑफलाइन में अटेंड करा हुआ है तुम लोग अनलकी होते इसमें मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती तो मैं ऑफलाइन में बता देती हूँ. लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर वी हैड विद अस प्राजक्ता कोहली and you know most which is mostly insane, Mithila Palkar from Little Things and so more, literally so more. And online फेस्ट में प्रथम ने अटेंड करा हुआ है लास्ट ईयर, ही इज इन सेकंड ईयर.
तो यार युवान तुम्हें किसी चीज में भी मिस आउट कराना नहीं चाहता. ऑनलाइन फेस्ट जो हमारा पिछले साल हुआ था उसमें आए थे अंजन, सुखवीर, तारुक रैना, और इस साल भी यार तुम्हारे थे जैसे आर माधवन फ्रॉम थ्री इडियट्स, परविंदर सिंह जो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन है, और ये अभिलाष थापियाल जो तुमने देखा होगा एस्पिरेंट्स में टीवीएस की सीरीज. तो यार तुम कहीं भी मिस आउट नहीं करे. युवान ने तुम्हारे लिए बहुत अच्छे इवेंट्स अभी ला के रखे हुए हैं, बहुत अच्छे सेलिब्रिटीज आ रखे हैं. तो हाँ, स्टे ट्यून्ड.
तो यार युवान की इनफैक्ट जो इनसाइड टीम है ना, तो वो भी इतनी ज्यादा प्यारी है बिकॉज पर्सनली मैंने उधर भी काम कर रखा है. तो मैं पीआर टीम में थी एंड आई सेड एज आई सेड कि इतने प्यारे लोग हैं आपस में, इतना ज्यादा लाइक जितना तुम्हें युवान अटेंड करने में नहीं मजा आएगा ना, उतना ज्यादा युवान में काम करने में मजा आता है. तो डू जॉइन युवान एज वेल. ऑल्सो एज आई सेड आई एम इन थर्ड ईयर एंड मैं तुम लोगों की सीनियर हूँ, तो मुझे ना काफी ऑफलाइन स्टोरीज बहुत ज्यादा पता है, ठीक है तो मैं तुम लोगों को वो बता देती हूँ. क्या कहते हैं, तो तुम लोग यार काफी ज्यादा सोफिस्टिकेटेड बनकर आते होगे, ठीक है. मैं भी आई थी फर्स्ट ईयर में कि यार ठीक है ऐसे हॉल्टर नेक पहन के जाऊंगी, ये करूंगी वो करूंगी कॉलेज में, ठीक है. तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटेड थी, है ना. लेकिन फर्स्ट ईयर में ऐसे ही होता है ना. मेरे एक हफ्ते में सारा भूत उतर गया इतना बड़ा कॉलेज है, चल ही नहीं पाते तुम लोग इतना ज्यादा, तो मेरा भूत सारा उतर गया. तो यार ऐसे तुम लोगों का हाल होगा, और तुम लोगों को लगता होगा लड़कियां हैं, हॉस्टलर्स हैं, बड़ी क्लीन रहती होंगी, सोफिस्टिकेटेड पोस्टर्स लगाती होंगी अपने रूम में. मैं अपनी एक रियल स्टोरी बताती हूँ. मैं अपनी फ्रेंड के रूम में हॉस्टल में रुकी थी एनजी फेस्ट के टाइम पे और युवान दोनों के टाइम पे, क्योंकि हॉस्टलर में सबसे ज्यादा मजा आता है हॉस्टलर एज अ हॉस्टलर रहने का. तो मैं रुकी थी. वो लड़की जिसमें उसने मैगी खाई थी ना प्लेट, वो उसने धोई नहीं और वो 2-3 दिन से वहीं पड़ी हुई जिसके अंदर फंगस जम चुकी है तो ये हाल होता है तो ये हाल होता है. तो तुम लोगों को पता नहीं, मैं बता रही हूँ, तो ऐसे ही जरा आदत डाल देना ठीक है. और क्योंकि तुम लोग ऐसे कुछ सोफिस्टिकेटेड लोग हो जो शायद हल्दी के दूध को टर्मरिक लाचे बोलते होगे, तो वो सारी आदतें छोड़ दो अपनी अभी से ही.
और एक तो इतने ज्यादा ऑप्टिमिस्टिक बन के आते ना फ्रेशर्स कि भाई प्लेसमेंट भी हम ही क्रैक करेंगे, इंटर्नशिप भी हम ही क्रैक करेंगे. एक बार यार यस लिख दो चैट में अगर तुम भी ये सोच के आए हो.
1 करोड़ पैकेज.
हाँ, 1 करोड़ पैकेज लेंगे. 2 महीने तक ये स्टिकर्स काम करते हैं, फिर थक जाते हैं, फिर शांत बैठे रहते हैं. तो यार तुम जब सब कॉलेज आए थे तुम्हें किसी ना किसी से पेप टॉक मिली होगी. जैसे मेरे को मम्मी पता बेटा खाना ठीक से खाते रहना, बाप बोल रहा था नशे नहीं करने, बहन बोल रही थी कि ना कॉलेज ठीक से एक्सप्लोर करके आना, बाप बोल रहा था नशे नहीं करने. दो पटा के आनी है, बाप बोल रहा था नशे नहीं करने. तो ऐसे ही मेरे भैया ने भी मेरे को पेप टॉक दी. उन्होंने मेरे को बोला कि यार तेरे स्कूल के बैच में 250 लोग थे, कॉलेज में 2500 लोग होंगे, तो तेरे को तेरे जैसा तो कोई ना कोई मिल जाएगा, तेरे को इन लोगों के साथ हैंग आउट करना है, इन लोगों के साथ चिल करना है. तो मैं गया कॉलेज और मिल गए मेरे को 5 और पतले लोग. तो अब हम 5 लोगों का ग्रुप बन चुका है. अब हम हर जगह 6 लोगों का हम हर जगह एक साथ जाते हैं. हम क्रिकेट भी एक साथ खेलते हैं. 3 लोग एक तरफ विकेट बनते हैं, 3 लोग दूसरी तरफ. या और यार कि मतलब तुम लोग घर से निकलते होगे, तुम्हारी मम्मी क्या बोलती रहेगी कि यार देख लेना गीजर बंद कर लिया, दरवाजा बंद कर लिया सही से कि नहीं किया. मेरी मम्मी पूछती है प्रथम तूने बेल्ट तो पहन ली थी ना, वापस जाके बुआ के घर पे नाला ढूंढेगा. और मैं ऐसा नहीं कि मैं अभी पतला हूँ, मैं बचपन से पतला हूँ, तो मेरे को एक ही टाइप के जोक आते हैं कि हवा आएगा तू तो उड़ जाएगा, हवा आएगी तू तो उड़ जाएगा. अरे क्या भैया ऐसा थोड़ा होता है. 5 रुपए का सिक्का जेब में लेके घूमो, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं उड़ा सकता. तो और मैं पतला हूँ ना, तो मेरे को मोटे लोगों से एक ही दिक्कत है, ये लोग ना सामान पे बैठ जाते हैं, इनको पता नहीं चलता इस सामान पे बैठे हुए. मतलब पूरे घर में ढूंढ लिया, एसी का रिमोट मिलागा इनके पिछवाड़े के नीचे. अरे यार तुम्हें पता कैसे नहीं चल रहा, तुम्हारे पिछवाड़े के नीचे रिमोट पड़ा है. मेरे तो पिछवाड़ा भी नहीं, तब भी पता चल जाता है मेरे को. तो ये राजेश और ये जीविका, तुम्हारे भी कोई इंसिडेंट्स हुए होंगे जब तुम नए
हाँ, बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट्स हुए। राजेश से स्टार्ट करते हैं सबसे पहले।
भाई इंसिडेंट्स तो मतलब एक से एक, मैं क्या ही बताऊं। बट
सारे बता दे सारे।
अपने इंसिडेंट्स को ना यार मैं ऐसे बताता हूँ कि अभी जो आजकल मेरे इंसिडेंट्स हो रहे हैं ना, मेरे अपने से ज्यादा मैं जूनियर्स के इंसिडेंट्स को देख रहा हूँ। पहली
Yes.
मुलाकात आज हमारी जो हो रही है वो है तुम्हारी युवान की टीम से। युवान के बारे में जानोगे और सेलिब्रिटी से मिलोगे, पर तुम्हारी जो आपस में पहली मुलाकातें हुई है ना अभी, स्पेशली जो ये जो पीछे 2 दिन तुम गए हो, हमें बहुत चर्चे सुनने को मिले हैं यार।
बहुत चर्चे।
उसी को लेकर हमने एक छोटी सी क्या कहें उसे कंपाइलेशन बनाई है तुम्हारे कन्फेशंस की। So let's move on to the topic which we call as DTU confession, daastan
Confessions.
ishq.
Yes. So this we have with us is DDU confession, and guys, we are going to do a little roast of all the confessions जो आपने पेज पर डाले हैं. So let's get started. And अगर आपके कोई भी suggestions हो, do write them in the chat box. So let's move on to the first confession which we have, and this confession is like this. This is a confession for one of my friend Kunal B15. Kunal B15. अच्छा, B15 उसकी caste है. Okay. He is a really good coder and a nice guy. Dot 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 dot. He knows almost all coding languages and dot dot dot. I am like kind of procrastinating. ये क्या लिखा है राजेश?
He procrastinated the word a lot. यार कुछ ऐसा सा ना मुझे याद आ रहा है.
इसको देखकर हमें बस एक ही चीज आ रही है, and this is.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. Today I am going to make a new video, so please whatever 1 million. I want to reach 1 million.
Amazing. Let's move on to this confession. Okay.
एक बार यार तुमने ऐसे कन्फेशन अगर तुमने भी देखे तो एक बार चैट बॉक्स में ओपी स्पैम कर दो यार.
Yes, type in OP.
अच्छा, अब ये मत लिख देना ये वाला कन्फेशन मेरा था.
हाँ. Because we respect your privacy, you know. Next हमारा confession privacy के बारे में ही है. Okay, Rajesh.
So this confession is for a very cute and kind girl from B6. उसका नाम नहीं लूंगा because I respect her privacy.
Yes.
पर मैं ड्यूटी कन्फेशन पे publicly confess कर दूंगा. Okay. तो I stalked her for 2 days in college. यार ये तुम्हारे 2 दिन, हमें पता है यार सबको कि तुम 2 दिन ही आए हो कॉलेज, बताने की जरूरत नहीं है.
2 दिन का प्यार.
Blah 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 blah. एक बार इसके लास्ट में आते हैं. The last line, my favorite line. Please comment a hi in comments. If you agree, I would message you after that. मतलब इसको पढ़ के यार कुछ बंदे लिटरली इतना इमोशनल हो गए. लाइक आर यादव 0005, उसने लिटरली हाई कमेंट कर दिया कि भाई तेरी लड़की मिले ना मिले तुझे हाई आएगा. Have some hope for that.
और भाई मतलब ये क्या चल रहा है? एक लाइन में तुम लिख रहे हो आई रिस्पेक्ट हर प्राइवेसी एंड यू एक्सपेक्ट हर टू राइट हाई इन द चैट बॉक्स ताकि पूरी दुनिया को पता लग जाए ये वही लड़की है. एंड ये 2 दिन का प्यार तो सबसे अमेजिंग है. लाइक जिंदगी 4 दिन की और तुमने 2 दिन तो उसको देखने में वेस्ट कर दिया. अब तुम क्या ही कर लोगे यार बच्चों 2 दिन में. 2 दिन का प्यार. सो नेक्स्ट कन्फेशन. भाई इतना लंबा कन्फेशन. भाई मैं नहीं पढ़ रही इसे. राजेश स्टार्टिंग की लाइंस पढ़ के बस खत्म करते हैं. मैं पूरा नहीं पढ़ सकती इतना लंबा कन्फेशन.
इससे कम तो मैंने स्टोरी राइटिंग में लिखा था.
वही तो सीबीएसई बोर्ड में लिखा था यार इतना.
अरे सुनो तो सही. Hey, this a confession. Hey, this a confession for a girl whose name I forgot. भाई आगे का पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो कन्फेशन है किसके लिए?
इसको देख के हमारा बस एक ही रिएक्शन था.
कौन है ये लोग? कहाँ से आते हैं ये?
भाई नाम भूल गया यार लड़की का. कुछ तो शर्म करो भाई. ओके. और एक तो ये कन्फेशन के पेज पे बैच की लड़ाइयां चल रही हैं भाई. A11 वर्सेस A6 B3. भाई क्या हो रहा है ये?
ऑफलाइन में करो, तुम व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे करो. मतलब कन्फेशन पेज पे जा जाके करना क्या चाह रहे हो?
वही तो कन्फेशन पेज पे प्यार करो यार. क्या कर रहे हो?
A6 उधर से आ रहा है, B3 इधर से आ रहा है.
एंड इसको देख के वी गाइस वर लाइक
भाई मारो मुझे, मारो मुझे, मारो. नहीं ये मजाक हो रहा है. एक सेकंड यार, मजाक हो रहा है.
ओके गाइस, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट कन्फेशन. और अगर यहाँ पर भी कोई है ऐसा जो बैच की लड़ाइयों में बिलीव करते तो प्लीज डू राइट योर बैच इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. टिल देन लेट्स मूव ऑन टू आवर नेक्स्ट कन्फेशन. ओके,
which is I saw a pretty girl with sparkling eyes and a purple colored bottle in campus at a mall today. सो मतलब देख रहे हो यार, मतलब किसी लड़की को डिस्क्राइब करने का इससे बढ़िया तरीका क्या होगा कि उसके पास एक पर्पल कलर की बोतल थी, लाइक आई डोंट नो हर नेम बट हैव सम पिक्चर्स।
एंड आंखों में दिल वाला इमोजी साथ में।
तो अगर कोई मुझसे पूछे, मान लो मैं लड़का हूं, मेरे दोस्त ने पूछा भाई आज इतना खुश क्या, यार मैंने एक लड़की देखी, कैसी थी पता नहीं,
पर्पल
हाथ
बॉटल थी
में
उसके
पर्पल
हाथ
कलर बोतल थी उसके पास, नाम पूछा नहीं यार मैंने उसकी कुछ फोटोज ले ली।
हाँ, पर्पल बॉटल के साथ। एंड ट्रस्ट मी गाइस,
बोतल के साथ
ये वाला कन्फेशन देखने के बाद कॉलेज में पर्पल बॉटल्स दिखने नहीं वाली, क्योंकि उनकी सेल्स एकदम जीरो होने वाली है भाई, कोई नहीं डेट करना चाहता है ऐसे लोगों को। So let's move on to the next confession. Yeah.
Okay.
So this
Yes.
confession is for my school time crush Shivani. She is in IGDTW. एक तो भाई इतने लंबे लंबे कॉलेज के नाम होते हैं, इनकी एब्रिविएशन भी इतनी लंबी है, IGDTW, मतलब पूरी ABCD निकल जाती है एक ही बारी में. And from past 2 to 3 months, I try contacting her, but she avoiding me and even blocked me. तो भाई ब्लॉक हो गया तो बात खत्म ना, क्या चाहते हो तुम?
खत्म, बाय बाय, टाटा, गुड बाय, गया।
Okay guys, so
Literally गई, please move on.
एग्जैक्टली, ब्लॉक हो गए तो बात खत्म, आगे मत बढ़ाया करो। लेकिन हम आगे नेक्स्ट कन्फेशन
हम मूव ऑन कर देते हैं।
सही बात है। ओके
Okay, so I don't if this is a true connection or not, but I have crush on several girls before, but this time it is something else. तो guys जरा guess करके देखो, पहले काफी सारी girls थी तो इस बार क्या होगा? Okay. तो पहले तो यार थोड़ी सी टिप्स आप सब सभी फ्रेशर्स को, कभी भी किसी लड़की को ये मत कहना कि यार मेरे पहले तो बहुत सारे क्रशेस थे पर कोई भी नहीं पटी, तो देखते हैं तेरे पे ट्राई करके देखते हैं। सो आई एम एन इंट्रोवर्ट, पता चल गया हमें ऊपर वाले पैराग्राफ से, बट लव शेयरिंग थिंग्स विद हर व्हाइल ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला। अच्छा इसकी ब्ला 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 के नीचे मेरा फेवरेट पार्ट यहाँ आता है, शुड आई टेल हर आई लाइक हर और वेट हर टू गिव सम सिग्नल, लाइक इसी वाला कोई बैठा है यार, कम्युनिकेशन वगैरह तुम बताओ कौन से किस टाइप के सिग्नल यहाँ पे आपस में हम ट्रांसफर
भाई
करें।
सबसे पहली बात तो यार वो लड़की है, कोई ट्रैफिक लाइट नहीं है जो तुम एक्सपेक्ट करो कि वो सिग्नल देगी कि भाई रेड सिग्नल है तो रुक जाओ, ग्रीन सिग्नल है तो चलो। भाई कैसे सिग्नल चाह रहे हो तुम हमसे?
5G वाले। ओके सो इसको कैसे सिग्नल मिले होंगे ना,
मैं बताती हूँ इसको,
हमारे पास एक ही है।
हाँ, इसको कैसे सिग्नल मिले होंगे हम वो दिखाते हैं आप लोग को।
ये देखो उनका जवाब आ रहा है, दे आर रिस्पोंडिंग।
ऐसे सिग्नल मिले होंगे भाई तुम्हारे कन्फेशंस को। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू दिस।
Okay, so yes, next confession. I saw this guy at mall yesterday at December. He was wearing a white hoodie and red roses printed on sleeves. He was really looking cute. Good looks with sexy physics and height, perfect combination. Guys,
एक मिनट,
आज से
सेक्सी फिजिक्स
perfect combination की जो definition है बदल गई है. It includes good looks, height and a sexy physics.
एंड भाई मैथमेटिक्स एंड कंप्यूटिंग वालों का तो कोई फिर स्कोप ही नहीं है, हमारी तो सेक्सी फिजिक्स होती ही नहीं है, दूर दूर तक कोई फिजिक्स नहीं है।
तो भाई यहाँ पे
मैं तुम्हें बताती हूँ, इफ सेक्सी फिजिक्स हैड ए फेस, उसका फेस कुछ ऐसे दिखता सेक्सी फिजिक्स का। Looks with sexy physics.
Alpha guy, Isaac Newton, guys.
Alpha male.
Okay, so yeah.
Your type has no flow, good chat.
Oh my. Let's move on to the next confession.
यहाँ पे किसी की sexy physics है, please मुझे chat में यार बता दो किस किस की
हाँ,
sexy
जिसकी भी sexy physics है, type yes and OP in the chat box everyone. Until then, let's move on to the next confession.
मेरे physics 1 और physics 2 दोनों में O grade लगा था. I have a sexy physics. Yeah.
Yeah. So next confession goes like this. और यार इतने बड़े confession, ये क्या है? This is like I have a crush on something blah blah blah. Let's go to the last line. Love you Shubho, but as a friend. इसलिए क्यों तो शुभम है, तो भाई उसको confession पेज पे friend zone करने की क्या जरूरत थी पूरी दुनिया के सामने?
मुंह पे बोलते हैं क्योंकि तू शुभम है इसलिए friend zone में तू।
Like confession पेज पे direct friend zone, और इसके लिए हमारे पास बस एक ही चीज है यार शुभम।
म्यूजिक।
भाई इतना दुख फ्रेंड जोन होने के बाद, we can feel your pain.
ये होता है। तो अब एक last final surprise which is a bonus panel.
Bonus panel for all of you guys, and let's read the confession for bonus panel. And this confession is from NSUT Confessions, एंड यार NSUT कौन से जमाने में जी रहा है? लाइक आज भी लोग गूगल फॉर्म पे अपने कन्फेशन दे रहे हैं, एंड दैट टू इट इज नॉट ए कन्फेशन, इट इज जस्ट ए rant, you know. So let's read it. DTU called Anuv Jain, Nishant Suri and many other famous personalities. Yes, DTU rocks. Within 3 weeks of online college.
आज नए बंदे और आ रहे हैं.
Yes, आज और भी नए लोग आए हैं because DTU is OP. And जिनको भी अपना कॉलेज OP लगता है, write in the chat box DTU OP. And just wanted to ask if NSUT does the same thing or not. नहीं करता भाई, DTU का अलग swag है भाई. And I mean, I really like this college. Exactly, guys. हमें भी DTU से बहुत 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 ज़्यादा प्यार है. But things like these really make me question whether NSUT will organize events or not. नहीं ऑर्गेनाइज करने वाला भाई, क्योंकि अगर कॉलेज हो तो DTU जैसा, वरना इंजीनियरिंग तो NSUT भी करवाता है. So guys,
अरे यार बात है नहीं, जब मैं कॉलेज में बिल्कुल नई आई थी ना, तो उससे पहले मैं बहुत ज्यादा ऐसी बच्ची थी जिसने सोच लगा था कि देयर इज गोइंग टू बी नो कामा सूत्र इन माय लाइफ, ओनली मंगल सूत्र. मैंने सोचा था कि किसी का है नहीं कि क्या कहता है, कोई बॉयफ्रेंड पटेगा, रोमांस होगा, नहीं सोचा हुआ था, मम्मी देखेगी और बस खत्म. लेकिन
DTU में बहुत स्कोप है यार, बहुत स्कोप है यहाँ पर.
एग्जैक्टली,
सिर्फ प्लेसमेंट का ही नहीं, यहाँ पे लड़कों में रिलेशनशिप में बहुत स्कोप है. यू कैन सी थ्रू कन्फेशन पेज ओनली ना.
लेकिन जीविका, हम एक चीज भूल गए थे ना, तो मैं जब यहाँ पे आई थी ना, तो मैंने यही सोचा था कि अब तो लड़के पीछे पीछे होंगे एंड मजा आ जाएगा. लेकिन मैं एक चीज भूल चुकी थी कि क्या कहते हैं, मेरे को फौज से जब एंट्री लेनी थी तो मुझे यहाँ के और यहाँ के बाल हटाने थे तो मैंने नहीं हटाए थे. लेकिन एनीवेज DTU तुम्हें बॉडी पॉजिटिविटी भी अच्छे तरीके से सिखा देता है. मुझे स्टिल प्रपोजल्स आए, एक दो तो आए एटलीस्ट. तो हाँ, अब मैं इन सब चीजों की परवाह नहीं करती.
Yeah, कोई नहीं. I can relate. So guys, that's all for the roast which we were doing for DTU Confession, and thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and do not forget to write OP in the chat box if you like us, and let's invite our next people.
Okay, so guys, thank you. ये हमारी तरफ से एक छोटी सी प्रेजेंटेशन थी आप सबके लिए. अब टाइम है हमारे अगले तो बहुत ही अजीज दोस्तों को बुलाने का, दानिश कासिम एंड मिहिका सांखला, throughout the next whole events.
काफी अच्छा इंट्रोडक्शन.
Thank you so much.
अजीज दोस्त. हाँ, हेलो गाइस. हाउ आर यू? कैसा चल रहा है सब? कैसे हो? चैट
बॉक्स में लिखते रहो यार, वरना मजा नहीं आएगा. बिल्कुल. हाँ,
मैं यही पूछा था, चैट ऑन है.
अगर नहीं होगी तो आई रिक्वेस्ट द युवान टीम की जल्दी से जल्दी चैट बॉक्स को इनेबल कर दो, ताकि बहुत ज्यादा इंटरैक्टिव सा सेशन हम कर पाए और सब लोगों को मजा आए. तो गाइस, मजा आया, सबको मजा आ रहा है बहुत ज्यादा. दानिश सर, आपको कैसा लगा ये जो रोस्ट अभी लोगों ने किया?
यार मेरे को तो बहुत मजा आया. पहले मैं भी कन्फेशन पेज पे जाता था, नॉट कन्फेशन लिखने के लिए, बट मैं पढ़ के ना वो उसको जज अपने मन में ही कर लेता था. मतलब मैं खुद में ही अपने दिमाग में ऐसे सामूहिक बैठ के जज नहीं करा हमने कभी, मतलब ऐसे रोस्ट नहीं करा हमने. तो मेरे को तो भाई काफी ज्यादा मजा आया कि, और मेरे को एक लाइन सबसे ज्यादा अच्छी लगी, जो सबसे इंजीनियरिंग करना है तो DTU में कर लो, वरना तो NSUT.
डेफिनेटली DTU जैसे इवेंट्स आपको NSUT कभी भी नहीं दे सकता, और इसीलिए मैं तुमको बता देती हूँ, वी हैव एन म्यूजिक लाइनअप स्टोर्ड इन फॉर यू ऑल. तो आई गेस तुम लोगों को बहुत मजा आएगा इंस्टा लाइव देख के शिवानी भयाना का. एंड सून विल बी जॉइंड बाय अवंती नागराल, आवर गेस्ट फॉर अभी के लिए. एंड देन वी हैव अ कॉमिक राइड विद परविंदर सिंह. उसके बाद वी हैव वन एंड ओनली पहली मुलाकात विद अंकुर वारिकू. And then later on we have a musical evening with Aseem Sharma, and lastly we have Abhilash Thapliyal के साथ पहली मुलाकात. तो मैं ये बोलूंगी, जस्ट अपना लैपटॉप ऑन रखो, बैठे रहो और एंजॉय करो जो तुम्हारे लिए युवान ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है. बहुत तुमको मजा आने वाला है, बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे, सेलिब्रिटीज आएंगे, उनकी बातें सुनो और एंजॉय करो. ठीक है
यार. मीका, तुम्हें ये जो भी हमारा जो लाइनअप है, जो भी ये आगे का जो भी इवेंट होने वाला है, तुम्हें ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है इसमें देख के इसमें सब कुछ है? मतलब
सब कुछ एग्जैक्टली. हाँ,
ठीक है.
फ्रॉम इट सिंगिंग टू कॉमेडी टू एक्टर, सब कुछ युवान तुम्हारे लिए लेके आया है. एवरीथिंग इज इंक्लूडेड. तो बस बैठे रहो.
लेकिन मैं तुम्हें एक चीज बताऊं, ये सब कुछ है, और बहुत सारे लोग ना सारी चीजें करते हैं, बट जो हमारे साथ जो नेक्स्ट गेस्ट आने वाली, तो मैं तुम्हें एक चीज बता दूं, अगर तुम्हें ना पता हो तो, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत बड़ा फैन हूं उनका. ठीक है
गाइस, स्पॉइलर अलर्ट, Danish Kasim is a huge Avanti Nagral fan और वो तुमको पता चल जाएगा when he'll talk to her. He is a huge fan of Avanti Nagral. आप ही बताओ, मेरे को तो कुछ बोलने दोगे नहीं आप, वैसे भी आप ही बताओ अवंती मैम के बारे में
वैसे भी बोलने नहीं देने वाला, लेकिन नहीं ऐसे कैसे नहीं बोलने देने वाला मैं बोलने देने वाला हूँ, लेकिन मैं तुम्हें चीजें बता दूं, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो तुमने देखी लाइनअप में ना, बहुत सारी चीजें बहुत सारे लोग करते हैं, बट लाइक आवर नेक्स्ट गेस्ट, ओके, तो तुम ऐसे तुम नाम ले लो कि ये चीजें होती है, ये चीजें करती है एग्जिस्ट, और मैम ना करती हो। गाना हो गया, ड्रामा हो गया, थिएटर हो गया, ब्लॉगिंग हो गया, कंटेंट क्रिएटिंग हो गया, रील्स हो गए, मतलब तुम बोलो तो पियानो बजाना, पियानो तुम्हें पता है, पियानो मैं तो मतलब एक ऐसी जानकारी बता रहा हूँ, ऐसे मैंने पढ़ा था एक जगह, पता नहीं सच है या नहीं है, मैम आएंगी, मैम से आई विल कंफर्म दे, मैम ने 5 साल की उम्र में पियानो बजाना सीख लिया था।
तो आई गेस मैम आ चुकी है हमारे साथ, सो मैं दोबारा से सबको वेलकम करती हूँ। हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू पहली मुलाकात ऑर्गेनाइज्ड बाय युवान। माय नेम इज मिहिका सांखला
and my name is Danish Kasim, and we are going to be your host for the event. Today we have with us, like I told you before, extremely and most talented Miss Avanti Nagral. She's an international pop artist, first in the world to hold dual degree. पढ़ाई भी करती है मैम, कंटेंट क्रिएटर, ब्लॉगर, सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योर, सिंगर, और गाने तो भाई साहब, मतलब तुम जब एक बार जब सुनोगे ना उनके गाने, तो तुम्हें ना पुरानी बातें भी याद आ जाएंगी, नई बातें भी याद आ जाएंगी, सब कुछ ताजा हो जाएगा। सो गाइस, here we have Miss Avanti Nagral. Ma'am,
welcome ma'am, welcome.
Thank you so much. Namaste everyone. Thank you for having me, and I'm so happy to hear your kind words. बहुत shukriya. I look like, I don't know what's going on with the sun today, but it's okay. We have some pattern on our...
You look perfectly fine. अब मैं तो ऑडियंस से बोलूंगी यार, अगर तुमको लास्ट में मैम का बहुत प्यारी सी आवाज में गाना सुनना है ना, तो चैट में कर दो वेलकम अवंती नागराल मैम। मुझे चैट स्पैम दिखनी चाहिए ताकि उनको पता चलना चाहिए कि डीटीयू का क्या क्राउड है, ठीक है? तो जल्दी चैट स्पैम कर दो, हार्ट्स एंड इमोजी सब कुछ। वेरी गुड, यही डीटीयू से उम्मीद है मुझे।
मैंने बहुत सुना है डीटीयू के क्राउड के बारे में, और प्लीज मुझे मैम मत बुलाइए, आई एम जस्ट अ कपल इयर्स ओल्डर देन यू प्रोबेबली, तो मुझे मैम बोल के आई फील वेरी ओल्ड, तो अवंती चलेगा।
चलो, I'll call you Avanti.
Recording in progress.
दीदी works, but no ma'am.
दीदी works, चलो ठीक है। So first of all, दी, how are you? कैसे हो आप? What's been up? क्या कर रहे हो आजकल?
मैं अच्छी हूँ। अरे वाह, इन्होंने पूरा सा सैंडी ने एक पूरा हार्ट का ब्लॉक ही डाल दिया। अरे
डीटीयू ऑडियंस बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत प्यार देते हैं
बहुत ज्यादा पसंद करते हैं लोग आपको, बहुत ज्यादा, और फॉलो बहुत ज्यादा कर रहे हैं लोग आजकल।
ओह थैंक यू। नहीं, आई हैव बीन गुड। ऑब्वियसली हम देख रहे हैं कोविड में क्या कर सकते हैं। आई वुड हैव एंजॉयड दिस सो मच मोर, एंड आई एम श्योर ऑल ऑफ यू वुड, अगर हम साथ में थे। बट ह्यूज कुडोज टू द टीम फॉर स्टिल ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एन इवेंट एट दिस कैपेसिटी लाइक दिस। और मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर आप कर सकते हैं, जो लोग देख रहे हैं, यू नो, स्पेशली फॉर अस, वी बीन परफॉर्मिंग टू जूम फॉर द पास्ट 2 years, तो अगर आप कर सकते हैं, इफ़ यू कैन टर्न ऑन योर वीडियो कैमराज, इट विल बी नाइस टू सी सम फेसेस। इफ़ यू कांट, इफ़ यू आर इन अ प्राइवेट एरिया, नो वरीज, बट जो भी कर सकते हैं, इफ़ यू कैन, दैट वुड बी रियली
डेफिनेटली गाइस। थोड़ा ज़्यादा तुमको, मैम को भी अच्छा लगेगा, इंटरैक्टिव हो जाएगा। चैट में यू कैन टॉक टू हर, और अपने कैमराज ऑन रखो सब की सब। तो मैम, मेरे को आपसे एक चीज़ पूछनी है Avanti, I want to ask something. Danish here is a huge fan of yours, and he's told me that you're fond of pickup lines. So is that true?
That is true. I am quite a fan of pickup lines.
I guess there's something in your eye. You need to check. There's something in your eye.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. It's just sparkle. You're radiating so much of positivity. I'm sorry. I had to say this. And it means a lot. You're so nice. तो आगे बढ़ते हैं। दानिश, आप you wanna say something to her? इनके लिए तो पूरा fan boy moment हो रहा है, बहुत ज़्यादा।
And ma'am, that's true. Like that's true. That's by heart. That's true. मैं मतलब fumble कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को पता नहीं चल रहा है। और it's like some dream come true. Okay. And if it was offline, like you told, COVID चल रहा है, सब बेकार हो गया। If it was offline, तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा सही होता। Like it will be totally a fan war moment, but like कोई नहीं। So before going forward, okay, like you do so much things, like बहुत सारी चीजें आप करती हो, like ब्लॉगिंग, लाइक एक जो दिमाग में जो चीज होती है ना, लाइक समटाइम्स यू पिन कि मेरे को ये चीज भी करनी चाहिए, और एक जो चीज होती है लाइक you love among all those domains, like you do a lot of things like singing, piano, theater, drama, blogging, content creation, और बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी जो मेरे को नहीं पता शायद. So what do you love among all these, like the most doing?
You know, I love anything that helps me connect with people. मैं ये थोड़ा अजीब सुनाई देगा, but I love using my voice, so in its multiple ways, right? As a singer, obviously, but I love speaking to people, and you know the idea कि हम सब में आवाज़ है जिनसे हम बात कर सकते हैं अलग अलग चीज़ों के बारे में, right? So it's about uplifting the voices of others, which is why I talk a lot on the internet about some things जो लोग taboo समझते हैं, because मैं जानती हूँ कि अगर हम उसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं और एक भी जन को मदद होए उससे, then it, you know, makes a huge difference. So I guess I like using my voice. That's the core, and it doesn't matter the medium. I'm like a musician first because that's been the primary art form, but that's the answer to your question.
So what is that you love the most? सबसे ज़्यादा क्या पसंद आता है?
Honestly, stuff like this, you know, because even in music, for example, you can, there's the songwriting aspect, the creating aspect, there's all of that, and I love all of those things. But सबसे ज़्यादा जो मुझे पसंद है is being on stage, hanging out with people, और वो मुझे बहुत मिस हो रहा है इन पिछले 2 सालों में, because I've not been able to be on a physical stage, but this is still good enough, and I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I feel that for all the performers, the feeling of stage and the rush and adrenaline, we all are missing it. So, like you mentioned, and a lot of people in the audiences also must have watched your show called Taboo Talks, that is on YouTube, where you talk a lot about periods and menstrual health, and also through your Instagram handle, you're quite vocal about sex education, women health, and pleasure. So, मेरे को ये पूछना है, why do you resonate with this domain in particular, and basically what inspires you to go beyond the preconceived notions of people and just do the amazing work that you're doing?
That's very kind of you, thank you. So as you can probably tell from my accent, I've lived half my life outside of India. I was born in the US, and then of course I went back for college. And so I have been exposed to a lot of these conversations in different parts of the world. My parents have also lived abroad, and despite that, it took me years to get them to a comfortable place to talk about things like sex, mental health, and all of these things openly at home. So mere man mein, if I'm in a position where all my grandparents are educated, my parents are educated, और वो abroad भी रह के आए हैं, and still there's work to be done. I can't even imagine what it's like in some places, right? And I have people writing into me all the time saying कि हम इनके बारे में बात ही नहीं कर सकते, मतलब शब्द ही नहीं बोल सकते घर पे. So I realized that what might be normal to me as a conversation I'm having may be something that is an example for somebody else, right? For example, we started talking, a lot of these things are also extremely close to my heart because of a lot of personal experience with them. When it comes to health, for example, I've had a lot of health issues through my life, both physical and mental, and some of them have been really, really trying, and the thing that got me through all of them was music, and the thing that got me through all of them was arts, right? So it's been this lifelong obsession of mine to marry the two, you know, and I figured as an artist, you have a voice, right, whether that's as a singer or whatever, but you also have a platform to talk about these things, and people connect with you not just because of what you're saying, but because of who you are and what you stand for, and you know, the emotion. So for example, ये मतलब बड़े fluke से हुआ था. I was having these conversations at home one day and with my grandmother, who I call Aji. We were watching something and I realized she was thoda cool. You know, for example, जब TV देखते हो sometimes with your parents or whoever, and there's like a kissing scene that comes, सब लोग मतलब बाहर पीछे देखते हैं because they don't know where to look. But Aji was super cool. She's like, हाँ उन दोनों ने kiss किया, and I'm like, अरे वाह Aji. So I was like, hey, can I show you something that is a little bit out of your comfort zone? She's like, sure. So we sat down one day and I had her watch WAP and Anaconda, the 2 music videos. And I also was recording on my phone, just essay, and the conversation ended up turning into this, you know, conversation about gender roles and empowerment and, you know, objectification and evil. And I think for a lot of people, seeing a 90-year-old and a person in their early 20s have this conversation was something they could also show their parents, you know, because ghar par you can say, oh, ye didi kuch bol rahi hai, but they'll be like, whatever, she's studied abroad. But you can't say no to a dadi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I realized, in some sense, I realized just even having simple conversations and simple awareness can change the way somebody thinks. So that's a long answer to your question, but it's something that's important to me. And I realized कि बहुत लोगों की ज़िंदगी में they don't have that opportunity. So just seeing an example might help.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Spreading awareness is the first step towards anything that we want to achieve. And it's, you have to give long answers because it's so beautiful to listen to. You have such a beautiful voice, and I'm really enjoying just sitting here and listening to you. And I guess so as the audience. So we have a rapid fire in store for you because everybody wants to know about what you're doing and what do you like, first of all. So Danish, you can take over from now and ask her all the questions that you have.
Ma'am, before rapid fire, there is one thing like I do want to ask, like when you launched your logo, like back in I think 2016 or 2017 I saw, and like how beautifully like you combined A and
Thank you for
like
noticing that.
like you have been in abroad like for half of your like I think like your all of your studies and everything, but like even by logo you are showing something like don't leave your root, like just attach with your origin. Okay. But ma'am, like there will be some scene or something like do happen like if you have been there, but we all belongs to India and like culture are different and everything. And ma'am, if I'm not going beyond the line, okay, so you have been there and like a guy named Steven, like if I'm pronunciation okay.
Yes.
So you guys were together for 5 years, like so how it been in your family, like how they are managing. Even some of us when go abroad, like we don't think about like because what will our पापा मम्मी क्या कहेंगे, फिर मतलब क्या हो जाएगा ऐसा इंटररेशियल, फिर तुम क्या कर रहे हो ऐसे कैसे अपने भूल गए तुम चीजें, वो वाली चीजें. So how can we manage that, like how you manage that?
Nay, that's a great question. We've spoken about this a little bit, but we will be putting out more videos when Stephen, for context, is my partner. We have been together 5 years. और हम Harvard में मिले थे. He was a senior, I was a freshman. When we first started dating, my parents were not the happiest. Not because they didn't like him, they liked him as a person, but you know वो जो मन में आता है कि अगर अमेरिकन से शादी करेगी then she'll lose her roots, you know, the वो जो आप कह रहे थे, or if blah blah blah, whatever the mindset was. I mean, I think you know, when it comes to friendship, forget love, when it comes to friendship, you can be friends with anybody and everybody, and ideally you should have friends from different backgrounds, right? Because the more you open up your mind to different experiences, the more you understand about life. And ऐसे नहीं है कि what does being Indian mean, right? हमारे देश में you have North Indians, South Indians, West, East, and everybody. If you go all across India, it's more diverse than many other countries in the world. It's like a continent, right? और वो ही मैंने देखा है कि हमारे जब हम इंडिया के देश में, जब हम भारत में, then we always differentiate कि नहीं, I am a blah 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 Brahmin, or I am a, you know, like from XYZ state. But when you go abroad, you realize that we're all Indian, right? Or we're all Desi, we're all South Asian, and if we don't stick to each other, or we don't, you know, have that unity, then we'll never be able to make progress. And I see that a lot in the entertainment world. जैसे कि आप लोगों ने शायद, I mean, I'm sure many of you know what K-pop is, right? Or you may have heard of at least BTS. The fact is that, you know, it's a united front being presented to the world. So until and unless we have that within our country, it's going to be really hard for us to advance in, you know, major pop culture moments like that. How to deal with your parents? It's tough. You know, I think the thing is you have to have them look beyond skin color, look beyond language, look beyond those barriers, and see the values of a person, right? Being Indian to me means having certain values, caring about my family, caring about, you know, all of these things. It means also preserving aspects of my culture and tradition, which I'm not going to compromise for anybody. you know, if I was friends with or on a relationship with somebody who was from any part in the world, I've been very clear कि India is very important to me. These, you know, specific cultures are very important to me. और अगर आपके लिए, you know, if you don't want to be a part of that, that's okay. But abhi bata do, so that we don't have to deal with it later, you know? So I think it's being very clear about what's important to you and bringing two cultures together, no matter who you're friends with. Many of you are from different parts of India, right? Just because you're friends, or some of you may even be dating, who knows, doesn't mean ki you are now suddenly different, right? You're never going to find someone who's grown up exactly the same way as you, exactly the same culture as you, because we're all different.
That's very nice, ma'am. That's very nice.
Also,
And
आप भी मुझे मैम मत बुलाइए, please. You can say Avanti, or if you feel comfortable, whatever, but no, ma'am.
whatever is not a choice, okay, but I'll call you Avanti. That's fine. That's fine. So, Avanti, like, so now, like, rapid fire, okay, and if you think that question doesn't suit you or like something going wrong, like, you can just like drop it, okay? So, start karte hain. Morning or a night person?
Morning.
Steven as a friend or as a boyfriend?
As a friend first.
As a friend, okay. One thing that annoys you the most?
People who don't make up their mind about something.
That's very right. Favorite thing about Dadi? Favorite thing about Dadi? Like Dadi IG?
जितनी she is so bindas. For example, अगर हम घर पे, let's say लड़ाई झगड़ा हो रहा है, right, between some people, she'll just sit, she'll pull out a crossword and start doing it. She'll be like, मेरा problem नहीं है, I'm just gonna be bindas.
मैं तो बस मजे से टीवी देख रहा हूँ, ड्रामा. Favorite thing doing with Dadi? Like, favorite thing what you do with Dadi?
Honestly,
apart from content.
No, but honestly it is that, because she really enjoys it, और उनके लिए बहुत अलग है. You know, she's been a doctor for so many years, so this is a different field for her. So she really enjoys it. So that is my favorite.
I guess Dadi must have her own fan base.
Oh yeah.
Guys, if you don't know, Dadi is on Instagram, okay? Yes, said it. So guys, go and follow her, or there will be link in chat box, okay? So guys, go and follow her.
कल ही बनाया था, and already she's gotten so much love. It's amazing.
So ma'am, last person you talked on Insta?
Oh, I can check. I don't remember. The last person I talked with was, some of you may know him, Archit Meher. He's a content creator.
Yeah. Archit Meher, yeah.
Ma'am, you know, even I also texted you, but you haven't replied like since a long time.
I'm sorry.
Okay. When was the last time you were late for something?
Probably a few weeks ago. I don't like being late, so it must have been annoying, but I don't know what it was for, but definitely for something. Traffic hai Bombay mein, to kabhi ho jata hai.
Posing at Churchgate railway station or Howard Square?
Probably just Churchgate railway station. It's so pretty.
Okay. So guys, if you don't know, and I'm assuming you know, like there is a song Tumhari. Mika सुना है तुमने?
मैंने तो बहुत अच्छे से सुना है गाना, and मैंने सुना है, और it is a song that just reminds you of your crush and it gives you butterflies. I don't know how I get butterflies every time I listen to that song. तो मैम अब आप उस गाने के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताओ. It was released recently, so what do you have to say about that?
I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's a song about your first crush, or just, you know, any innocent pyar. Valentine's Day is coming up, so I'm just saying y'all can send it to somebody to let them know without actually saying you like them. And I wrote the song with this incredible independent artist. Her name is Hanita Bhamri, and she was also on the song. And Ashwin Advani, who's also an independent artist, was featured on it as background vocals. और हाँ, अभी करीब एक हफ्ता हुआ है, and the song is out in the world. It's very cute, and we hope you enjoy it.
It's such a beautiful song, and I cannot let you go without singing that song for us.
Of course.
You have to sing that song for us today. And I request all the audience, फिर से chat spam कर दो. बहुत सारा मुझे प्यार दिखना चाहिए अवंती मैम को.
I am super happy to.
Very good, guys. I want to see a lot of emojis, hearts in the chat box so that she has that energy and she sings for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Also, how much time do we have? Just quick question. 5 minutes, 7 minutes.
I guess we have 5
Yes, ma'am.
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
5 minutes.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll sing 2 lines of Tumhari, just a couple lines of it. I would love to do a song on the spot with y'all. Some of you may know what that is. If you don't, I'll explain. And then if we have time at the end, we can do something else fun. So I'll try to keep that all to 5
And
minutes.
so, and ma'am, if I remember, like the same day or like 1 year ago,
Yeah.
Suntolo is got.
Yes, it got released. Yes.
So like
a small thing of that, of course. Why don't we start with Suntolo and then I can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because Suntolo is just, it grounds you in that. For those of you who don't know, Suntolo is a song, it's about mental health, but it's really a song about, you know, hoping कि कोई तो सुन ले judgment के बिना हमारी ज़िंदगी में. So here it is. I'll just sing a couple lines of it. If y'all could do me a favor and just hold a thumbs up as soon as you can hear the track. I don't know if anything's playing right now. Can you hear it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. एक बात कहनी थी पर थोड़ी सहमी थी कह दूँ तो क्या होगा सोचा बहुत रोका सब कुछ रुआसा है धुंधला धुआं सा है लड़ने को दिल रोता पर अब नहीं होता सुन तो लो कुछ नहीं हुआ है सुन तो लो ये तेरा वहम है सुन तो लो सुन तो लो ठीक लग रही हो सुन तो लो मुस्कुरा के देखो सुन तो लो There we go, just a couple lines of Suntolo. I hope you enjoyed Suntoloing. I will sing Tumhari toward the end. Before that, right now, just super quick, I would love to do something called a song on the spot. जिन जिन लोगों को ये मालूम नहीं है कि मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ, it basically means that we will create a song right here on the spot out of anything. So I need your help. Usually I have musicians and a storyteller, but यहाँ पे it's a little harder to do that. So can you please share a popular English song in the chat? I say English because it's easier to find tracks for that on the internet. So send in any popular English song you know in the chat, and we will use that as our background music. So let's see, just any couple names. If you can spam the chat with that, we will bring those up, and then I'll tell you what the rest of us have to do. Okay, a lot of people are saying perfect.
Yeah.
I assume that's the Ed Sheeran one, so I will bring that up. Meanwhile, the rest of you, अगर आप कोई भी शब्द या phrase डाल दो chat में, जो आप इस गाने में इस्तेमाल करना चाहते हो. It can be in English or Hindi, or just so long as I can read it, we will use it. And it can be anything. We've made songs about arranged marriages, parleji, just the sky is the limit. So
somebody has written swim.
Swim. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So keep adding words into the chat and we will use that to make the song. And meanwhile, I'm going to pull up the track. So we have it here. Ishq. Yeah. Amazing. Come on, y'all. Where is the same heart spamming energy with the words?
Now they have like particular specific task. मेरे को अब ये चीज़
हाँ, अभी मैं चिल नहीं कर सकती कर सकता हूँ मुझे अभी काम करना है नहीं कुछ भी बोल दो बकवास बोल दो हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे गाने में Okay, now I see it. Okay.
Somebody's written engineer. I think that you should include because we are in an engineering college.
100%. Okay.
Somebody said COVID.
Oh. Hold on one sec, huh? Let me just quickly, let's pull up this track. Keep typing. We're just gonna use all of these right now. Okay, here we go. मैं हूँ एक engineer और मैं यहाँ हूँ आज because COVID ने क्या वाट लगा दी शायद हम साथ में थे because whether you love sex or 21 guns or red swans or a guy, we are all feeling the dard of this cold, cold world, and together we come and all say we need to know कि जाने मेरे जाने मन, will you let me down slowly? मैं तुम्हारा हूँ because I'm an engineer. I know how to fix a washing machine, but dil ke dard is out of my syllabus scope. The other day I was talking to the moon and it said Shinzo wo sasegeo in Wuhan, China. I said, why didn't they use Nirma washing powder? And I need to know that if you would like to come to Delhi and study with me today, do you remember when we made promises under the sun and we said, Pinky, Kartike, will you both become one? 'Cause I'm scared to live in a world like this where COVID is unstoppable. All I need is bliss. I'm an engineer. मेरे DNA में दर्द है और कभी कभी मैं हल्दी पानी पीती हूँ मेरे अंदर की छाले से अंदर के मेंटल हेल्थ से क्या करेंगे हम सब आज Yesterday was Republic Day सब करो भारत माता की जय और खुद में ही खोए रहो Because hey there Delilah won't you let me down slowly मेरी एक ख्वाहिश है कि तेरी वजह मेरी बेरोजगारी न हो मुझे जॉब चाहिए तो और जी में पढ़ के मैं क्या भेजा फ्राई हो गया और ओमिक्रॉन प्लीज अभी जा ताकि हम साथ में रह सकते हैं DTU में Okay, that was the song y'all helped
Oh my god. I mean, you have such an amazing voice and it all made sense after all. Yeah. So I guess we're a little short on time here, so you have to sing Tumhari for us, and then we don't want to, but we will have to wrap up
I
this.
understand. नहीं, आपका तो बड़ा festival है. Let's sing a couple lines of Tumhari, and thank you so much for having me. And this was really, really lovely. Please feel free to come say hi on Instagram. And मुझे भेज देना chat में DTU से आए हो, so I will try to check your DMs. I'm sorry, Danish, कि मैंने पहले नहीं देखा है. Here, let's just do a couple lines of Tumhari. नजरों में क्यों डूब जाते, तुम पास आते तो क्यों मुस्कुराते, सुन के नाम तुम्हारा क्यों कुछ ना बोल पाते, पहले ना कभी हुआ है ऐसा, कोई दूसरा लगा अपना हो जैसा, कोशिशें करके भी हारे, क्या मैं हो जाऊं तुम्हारी, क्या मैं हो जाऊं तुम्हारी. There we go, just a couple lines. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Such an amazing voice, ma'am, and thank you so much like for being here. और मेरे को तो इतनी सारी चीजें पूछनी थी, मेरे पास मतलब इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं, क्या बताऊं मैं, like from Agnes of God to like Howard and Stephen as doing some theater. बहुत सारी चीजें, बहुत सारे like सवाल हैं, but like because like
hopefully जानती हूँ नहीं,
some other day,
some other
yeah, definitely offline college में we'll definitely have you someday. Let's hope for that. And thank you so much. It was amazing interacting with you. You are amazing, and you have an even amazing voice. Thank you so much for being here. Pehli Mulaqat, Yuvaan.
Nika and everybody else who organized, and please enjoy the rest of your event, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
हेलो, हाय गाइस, आवाज आ रही है मेरे को? मेरी जो भी अनम्यूट है एक बार मेरे को कंफर्म करके बता दो.
बढ़िया 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 आ रही है.
अमेजिंग. वेलकम यू ऑल अगेन टू पहली मुलाकात. आई होप तुम सबको बहुत मजा आया होगा. मेरे को तो सही में मजा आया यार, क्योंकि दानिश तो देखो प्रिपेयर करके आया था कि मेरे को आधार कार्ड से नंबर से लेकर होम एड्रेस तक सब पता करके जाना है आज, है ना. तो आई एम श्योर तुम सबको भी बहुत मजा आया होगा. बहुत अमेजिंग गाया भी मैम ने, ठीक है. और हम थोड़ा सा टाइम पे थोड़ा सा पीछे चल रहे हैं, तो हम जल्दी आगे मूव ऑन करेंगे, ठीक है. तो हाय गाइस, मैं तुम्हें थोड़ा बता देता हूँ अपने बारे में. माय नेम इज प्रताप सिंह और मैं हूँ आपका आज का होस्ट, ठीक है. और हमारा नेक्स्ट इवेंट क्या है? हमारा नेक्स्ट इवेंट है स्टैंड अप मैजिक विद परविंदर सिंह. और इसमें क्या होगा? स्टैंड अप मैजिक विद परविंदर सिंह. इट्स बेसिकली अ कॉमेडी शो जहां पर परविंदर सिंह सर आके परफॉर्म करेंगे. इज काइंड एनफ टू कम हियर और बहुत मजा आने वाला है यार. परविंदर सिंह सर मेरे वन ऑफ द फेवरेट कॉमेडियंस हैं और मैंने ऑलमोस्ट उनकी सारी वीडियोस देखी हैं. आई एम श्योर तुम सबने भी देखी होगी, इसलिए तुम अभी तक रुके भी हुए हो. और अभी 2 दिन पहले उनकी एक नई वीडियो आई है, वो भी चेकआउट कर लेना शो के बाद, ठीक है. अभी नहीं जाना कहीं, शो के बाद चेकआउट कर लेना. और मुझे पता है तुम क्या सोच रहे हो कि हम परविंदर सिंह को देखने आए हैं, ये चिलगोजा क्यों बोले जा रहा है. सही बात है, मैं आया होता तो मैं भी यही सोचता, ठीक है. तो मेरा काम है तुम्हें थोड़ा सा वार्म अप कर देना, तुम्हें थोड़े से इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे देना शो के बारे में, ठीक है. फिर हम जल्दी से शो स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है.
How great is that? The app focuses on privacy and ensures no discoverability. A unique Zlen code serves as an entry barrier that filters out unwanted people. Now I'm pretty sure बोल रहे हो कि क्या मैं Zlen के बारे में क्या बताऊँ, इतनी बढ़िया ऐप है, युवान को स्पॉन्सर कर रही है. Let's just have an ad जिससे तुम्हें खुद समझ आ जाएगा how amazing Zlen is. So I'll be presenting my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Can someone please confirm?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
So this was Zlen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a Zlen OP ho jaye chat box mein, and then we'll move on to the next thing of the evening that we have planned for you. The amazing, the great, the orientation of Yuvaan DTU. So I'll be presenting my screen. So I hope my screen is visible. Can someone confirm once again?
Yes, it is.
Great.
Yes, it is.
Great,
Yes,
great.
It's visible.
So यार we are here since 3. एक के बाद एक shows हो रहे हैं, events हो रहे हैं, so I don't even need to ask कि यार मजा आ रहा है या नहीं. But एक बार मेरी satisfaction के लिए सब युवान OP in the chat box कर दो. सब दिखा दो यार कि we are DTU students and we are already a part of Yuvaan. So first of all, I'll just give a brief intro. My name is Yuvaan Roy. मैं third year production engineering में हूँ. तो हम में और तुम में ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. तुम अभी सोच रहे होगे कि यार हम इंजीनियरिंग करके क्या कर रहे हैं लाइफ में. मैं इस सवाल का आंसर 3 साल से ढूंढ रहा हूँ विदाउट लक. आगे देखते क्या होता है. तो यार आई एम प्रिटी श्योर अब सब बोल रहे होंगे कि यार युवान ये करवा रहा है, वो करवा रहा है, हमको भी करवाना है, हम ज्वाइन कैसे करें युवान. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम हियर, इस सारे डाउट्स के लिए. तो विदाउट एनी फर्दर अडू, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद व्हाट इज युवान. So Yuvaan is the Literature and Film Festival of Delhi Technological University, and yeah, it is North India's biggest literature and film festival. अब तक हमने 4 बार युवान कर लिया है, and every time we returned with something bigger and something better. We started in 2017. पहला सेशन हुआ था 2018 में, and उस दिन से जो स्टार्ट किए कभी रुके नहीं. What is Yuvaan? Yuvaan has 3 grand.
Recording stopped.
We have 20 plus celebrities, 150 plus colleges, and a lifetime of memories. So before I move further, कि यार हमारे पास celebrities कौन-कौन आते हैं जो already तुमको magnetize
Recording in progress.
I'll tell कि मैंने युवान क्यों ज्वाइन किया, and I guess I have with me युवान heads, वो अपना experience share करेंगे. तो मैंने युवान ज्वाइन किया था ऐसी अपनी एक ओरिएंटेशन देखने के बाद जो 2 साल पहले हो रही थी. तब तो मैं लॉकड इन हो ही गया था, बट उसके बाद एक चीज बताई गई, वो है युवान आफ्टर पार्टी. आई जस्ट एक्सप्लेन दैट इन वर्ड्स. पूल पार्टी, फार्म हाउस, रिसोर्ट, अनलिमिटेड खाना पीना, नाच गाना. तो यार ये सुनने के बाद आई वॉज जस्ट अट्रैक्टेड एंड आई फ्लू टू युवान. और आज 3 साल हो गए हैं और मैं अभी भी युवान में उतना ही एंथुसियास्टिक हूँ जितना तब था. यार ये तो मेरी बारी थी. अब मेरे पास यहाँ पे जो युवान हेड है, I'll Rujbul, can you just unmute yourself and tell कि यार what was the thing that motivated you to join Yuvaan? I'm pretty sure एक फैक्टर उसमें होगा कि सीनियर्स ने बताया था कि DU की लड़कियां बुरी होती हैं, बट हम यहाँ पे वो आंसर लेंगे नहीं. तो over to you.
Hi, Varun. Hey guys. So, am I audible, Varun?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah. So, as you said कि DU की लड़कियां एक फैक्टर होता है, तो वो ऑब्वियसली हम कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि ये बातें बताई नहीं जाती. एंड एज फॉर द आफ्टर पार्टी, ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ बिग हाइप, ठीक है, एंड वो भी होता है, डेफिनेटली होता है, बट मेजर पॉइंट वुड बी कि जरूरी नहीं है कि पार्टी करने के लिए पार्टी करनी जरूरी है. लाइक इस बात को समझना कि युवान की प्रिपरेशन के टाइम पे द अमाउंट ऑफ फन दैट वी हैड amongst ourselves and amongst along with our seniors, that was unmatched. ठीक है, लाइक रात को 4-4 बजे तक कॉलेज के अंदर जाग के जब हम पार्टी कर रहे हैं, इनफैक्ट काम कर रहे थे, वो काम ही पार्टी जैसा था। तो वो जो हाइप थी ना, दैट जस्ट पुल्ड मी टुवर्ड्स युवान। तो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर कि वो जो बॉन्ड है ना, वो जो युवान के साथ जो बॉन्ड है, वो और कहीं नहीं बनता। दैट पुल्ड मी टुवर्ड्स युवान।
ग्रेट आंसर यार, रिलेटेबल मैक्स, एंड आई एम
Recording
प्रीटी श्योर
stopped.
युवान के जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं सबका यही रिस्पॉन्स होगा। सो नाउ वील बी मूविंग ऑन कि यार
Recording in progress.
युवान जो हमारा है उसमें होता क्या क्या है। सो आई विल जस्ट टेल यू कि you have already seen 3 celebrities of युवान पहली मुलाकात 2022, बट हम दिखाएंगे जब हम स्टार्ट ही किए थे, हाउ हेवी वर वी जस्ट ऑन द स्क्रैच, एंड हाउ एग्जैक्टली जब मैंने बोला कि वी रिटर्न बिगर एंड बेटर एवरी टाइम। आई विल जस्ट प्रूव माय स्टेटमेंट्स विद द सेलिब्रिटीज नाउ आई एम गोना शो यू। So in the first time itself, in the first edition of 2018, we had none other than Major General GD Bakshi as a dignitary. That Major General GD Bakshi को कौन नहीं जानता, और अगर कोई नहीं जानता तो यार न्यूज तो खुलती होगी। We had top news reporters including Rohit Sardana, Major Gaurav Arya, from top poets like Nizami brothers to top writers like Durjoy Datta in our first year itself. So I hope you know what we are talking about here. Second year 2019 हमने काम किया और हम और स्ट्रॉन्ग होके आए, एंड वी हैड नन अदर देन द फेमस एंड द वंडरफुल एक्ट्रेस मनीषा कोइराला. With Manisha Koirala, we had Upama Chopra and Suchitra Tyagi, the movie critics and the famous music and the famous movie actress. And we had top names of poets like Amandeep Singh, writers like Amit Lodha, and tons of other dignitaries. अब यार अभी भी काफी लोग बोल रहे होंगे कि पहले स्लाइड में मैं एक सेलिब्रिटी को जानता था, दूसरे स्लाइड में मैं 2 को जानता था. युवान इज ग्रोइंग, बट यार पता नहीं. तो यार थर्ड स्लाइड जब आने वाली युवान 2020, मैं लिख के दे देता हूँ, तुम एक एक सेलिब्रिटी को जानते होगे, विच विल जस्ट डिफाइन कि हाउ ग्रेटली वी आर ग्रोइंग. सो युवान 2020 वी हैड full of 3 event full of 3 days of massive fun, massive dignitaries. We had none other than Mithila Palkar and Dhruv Sehgal from Netflix Little Things. This adorable couple just made our day. We had none other than the mostly sane Prajakta Kohli यार, जिनकी YouTube चैनल की घंटी किसने नहीं बजाई. फिर अभी भी यार, अभी भी तुम लोग बोलते हो हाँ सुना सुना है, तो यार फिल्टर कॉपी तो देखा होगा. We had Viraj Ghilani from Filter Copy. We had the famous actress Mandira Bedi. We had the comic Ronak Rajani. और यार इस पूरे इवेंट के बाद, पूरे 2-3 दिन के बाद, we had an amazing, one of the best concert of our life by none other than the sunburn artist Zayden. So I hope you are understanding to what level Yuvan is growing and what exactly you will be joining once you are a part of Yuvan. In 2021, an online fest, we had the Prince of Chandigarh. Even in online, जब कोविड ने सबकी मार रखी थी, युवान की नहीं मार पाया कोविड. We called Sukhbir Singh the Prince of Chandigarh. We had DJ Chetas, DJ Avila, we had Vivek Singh and Taruk Raina को कौन नहीं जानता यार. तो यार तुम समझ रहे हो हम यहाँ पे क्या बातें कर रहे हैं. तो अच्छा, अब मैं वापस तुमको अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ. तो यार जब मेरा फर्स्ट ईयर था, दैट वाज 2020 का, जब मैंने युवान देखा था, तो आई हैड अ सीनियर हु वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ युवान. और मैंने जब उनको देखा कि उनको क्या मिला, उन्होंने मिथिला पार्कर, जब मैंने बताई ही वाज अ सुपर फैन ऑफ हर, उन्होंने मिथिला पार्कर को बुलाया. ही रिक्वेस्टेड हर टू हग हर ऑन स्टेज. वो स्टेज पे गए, हग्ड हर, केम बैक, एंड अपेरेंटली उन्होंने मेरे को उनको छूने नहीं दिया. कहते मेरे को मिथिला ने छुए, सब मुझसे दूर रहो. सो दैट इज द थिंग, दैट इज द privilege you get as a Yuvan member, calling your celebrities. So एक बार यार we'll go back to Rijwal and Tisha to know about their experience with celebrities की, that will tell you कि क्या scene है यार. तो Rijwal?
Yeah. So, like, as you said, कि being a member of Yuvan, you bring those artists, you bring those stars, and being a member of Yuvan, it's not just कि आप काम कर रहे हैं समथिंग लाइक. जब इवेंट हो रहा है तो सबसे ज्यादा फन होने का काम भी सिर्फ और सिर्फ युवान के मेंबर्स पे. लाइक ऑब्वियसली आई आल्सो रिमेंबर दैट सीनियर who hugged Mithila on stage, and I can't forget that, because at that point I was very jealous. So
relatable max.
Yeah. So the point is that that wasn't just it. ठीक है, ऐसा हुआ था that was only visible to everyone else. I'll let you know कि युवान मेंबर्स होने का इसमें फायदा क्या था. जब प्रजक्ता मैम और मिथिला मैम को लेके चले गए थे, तो सबको लगा था कि उनकी गाड़ियां सीधा कॉलेज से निकल गई हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. They were taken to the DTU guest house for rest and something. तो वहाँ पे DTU में वहाँ पे युवान के मेंबर्स थे, एंड me being one of those युवान मेंबर्स जिनकी आज भी उनके साथ फोटो है, so that's a huge flex. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा इंसेंटिव है सारे जूनियर्स को कि भाई आओ युवान ज्वाइन करो और देखो ये भी हो रहा है. Then there was another incident जब टाइमलाइनर्स का पैनल आया था, तो युवान मेंबर्स वर द नियरेस्ट टू द स्टेज एंड दे वांटेड टू क्लिक अ सेल्फी. तो सेल्फी में सिर्फ और सिर्फ युवान मेंबर्स हैं, जब सब आना चाह रहे थे. बट एज यू ऑल नो कि युवान के मेंबर्स हैं तो सबसे पहले वही आएंगे ना फोटो, तो और कौन नहीं आएगा. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट मेक यू रिजॉइस कि तुम एक युवान का पार्ट हो, यू आर वर्किंग फॉर युवान. तो ये सब जब होता है तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है ऑब्वियसली.
Thanks a lot, Rijul, for your input, यार. I'm pretty sure हमारे रिव्यू सुनने के बाद all the members in the meeting are like, भाई join कैसे करना है, recruit कैसे करना है, काम क्या क्या करेंगे. So now we will be telling कि Yuvaan join कैसे करना है and where all can you contribute and be a part of the team Yuvaan. So now about the departments. The first we have the major corporate team. तो जो corporate team है यार, इतने बड़े फेस्ट के लिए you understand what is the amount of economics that is included in the fest, the budgets, the money allocation, and all the expenditures. So if you are interested in all this, corporate team is a space for you. After that, we have the hospitality team. Their hospitality team क्या है? Told you about all the celebrities that are coming. तो यार, you as Rijul told, उनको हम guest house ले गए. Guest house कौन ले जाएगा? Hospitality team. Selfie कौन लेगा? Hospitality team. तो hospitality team is responsible for all the standards operating of procedure, including guest management and celebrity management. Then we have the PR and publicity team. So yeah, the branding of Yuvaan, the major brand that we have, as all credited to the PR and publicity team of Yuvaan. कि यार हर जगह जा रहे हैं, कब जो भी इंक्वायरी आ रही है उनको सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, युवान का नाम एकदम फुल पब्लिकली स्प्रेड कर रहे हैं कि डू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ युवान. After that, we have the logistics team. You all can understand that managing or organizing a fest of 3 days. मैंने जब यार युवान था तो युवान के लास्ट डे क्लासेस थी मेरी, मैं गया कॉलेज में ज्यादा थोड़ा स्टार्ट आज तो कि काम हो रहा है. आई वेंट, आई रिटर्न एंड मैंने देखा अगले दिन युवान के दिन की पूरा स्टेज जो है हमारा वो कैप्टन अमेरिका की शील्ड पेंट हो रखा है, पूरा DTU सुंदर हो रखा है. एंड दैट इज द लॉजिस्टिक्स टीम. यहाँ पे आई डोंट नो डिलीवरी बॉयज की फोटो है, बट डोंट वरी, इट्स वन ऑफ द बेस्ट थिंग दैट यू सी इन योर लाइफ. देन वी हैव द इवेंट्स टीम. फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे जितने भी इवेंट्स हुए हैं, दैट इज कूडोज टू देम, जो डिसाइड करते हैं कि कौन सा इवेंट कब होगा, क्या होगा, इसमें कैसे करेंगे. वी हैव द कंटेंट एंड डिजाइन टीम who are responsible for all the content you see or all the designs you see, including this PPT. We have the creative team कि यार जो भी मैंने बोला शील्ड वील बनाते हैं, सुंदर करते हैं कॉलेज को, उनको पूरा दिमाग जो होता है वो क्रिएटिव टीम का होता है. So these were the departments that we had in Yuvaan. I'm pretty sure that you are excited to join the same, and the recruitment form would be released on 30th of January on all Yuvaan handles, so do be a part of the same. And now I'm pretty sure we all are excited for the main event of the day that we have. So, and that I don't even have to mention the name. So we have none other than Mr. Ankur Warikoo, the famous entrepreneur, the famous YouTuber, जो एकदम जिनके लिए आज पूरा DTU excited है. So before anything, so I'll be giving this stage to Karthik Gabra, the host, and also the senior who went and hugged Mithila Parker. So over to Karthik sir.
Thank you. I wish I had this opportunity with Ankur sir here, but anyways, that's not possible. So guys, first of all, I think Ankur sir is here. Are you there, Ankur?
I am very much.
Okay, great. I can't see you. Why is that? Oh.
Is that because I'm one of the...
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, correct.
Great. This is actually a big turnout, Ankur. Actually, we have been hosting so many events today. No, not more than 500 people had come here. So yeah, I think our entrepreneurs are turning into superstars. And I was hearing the other day that someone was saying that if our entrepreneurs become superstars, our country is going in the right direction. So yeah, what does that tell you about the India you're catering to?
I know. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. But thanks so much for having me. And thank you, everyone who's joined in. It's such a pleasure to be amongst all of you.
Yeah, so continuing on that question, so like, what does that tell you about India? Like, our entrepreneurs are becoming superstars, with you, first of all, coming into the content creation, and a lot of other people who are getting so famous. I saw that other day there were a lot of people that were outside in Bangalore, outside Cred's office because they wanted to have a glimpse of Kunal Shah. So yeah, what does that tell you about India?
Yeah,
where are we moving forward? Yeah,
I think this is a very positive trend, and it's not because I'm an entrepreneur and I love the attention, but I think if you admire someone who really does something meaningful, which is pick up a problem, solve the problem, create wealth not just for themselves but for their investors, for their employees, and does it in a manner which is quite intense, quite hardcore, that to me is a great idol. And with all due respect to all the others that the country has always admired, which has been movie stars and sports people and so on, all of them have done commendable work in their own right. But I think this is a natural evolution in just a country's development. Like I know for a fact in the US, for example, if you were to see one of the movie stars on the road or in the metro or just anywhere, you'll be like, hey, hi,
yeah,
big
okay.
fan, love you, continue doing the old work. It will not be like, oh my God, Shah Rukh Khan. So there is this,
But would it
phase.
be the same for Elon Musk today? I doubt about that.
No, I really feel so. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with some really famous entrepreneurs, and I've always asked them question because the celebrity chase in the country is pretty significant in ours. And I was like, hey, how is it, yaar, being like this cool entrepreneur who's running multi-billion-dollar startups? And it's like very normal. We just walk on the street, people say hi, you hi back. People smile at you, you smile back. So
who's the most charismatic character you met in your time? Like one person you really wanted to meet and you were like, okay, this is someone I really want to become, someone you idolized after meeting him, for example, maybe him or her actually.
That's a good question, man. I'll have to think. I genuinely believe, and this is notwithstanding his acting abilities, but I feel that Shah Rukh Khan is extremely charismatic. Like he has this vibe and this aura around him. And at Nearby, we worked with him, and I don't know why I was so stupid, but I didn't go for that shoot. मुझे ये याद नहीं है कि इतना क्या जरूरी था मेरी जिंदगी की मैंने वो शूट छोड़ के अपने काम की तरफ ध्यान दिया. But I know I saw clippings when that team had gone, and I of course interacted with his team and himself and so on. I just found him to be very very funny, very witty, very cocky in his own way, but charisma for sure. Yeah, there is a lot.
Great. So it's actually, I was expecting an entrepreneur to talk about an entrepreneur that, yeah, maybe Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, but yeah, I was wrong. So yeah, we can get we get inspiration from the most
exactly
bizarre places.
Exactly.
Right? So Ankur, you were a young man, you still are, although I wouldn't make the mistake of calling you old. But a lot of us over here dream, and we all dream of becoming entrepreneurs, of coders, tech stars, whatnot. And I wanted to know, what did Ankur Warikoo, the child, when he was in school or when he was just about to go into college, what was his dreams? What did he wanted to do?
Yeah, मेरी जिंदगी बड़ी interesting है, because I had one dream which I worked towards intensely, and I was convinced in my life that will be the only thing I do. तो मेरा अरमान था स्पेस साइंटिस्ट बनना. मुझे जाना था यूएस अपनी पीएचडी के लिए, फिर मुझे ज्वाइन करना था नासा एज अ स्पेस साइंटिस्ट. एंड अगर मैंने फाइट मार के अच्छे से काम किया होता, देन मेरा अरमान ये था कि मैं मार्स पे जाके कुछ उखाड़ूंगा. And that was genuinely the motive towards.
So Elon Musk से पहले Ankur Warikoo had that dream.
This is before Elon Musk
yes
discussed Mars and make it pop culture.
So do you think it's a missed opportunity?
No, I feel I genuinely believe, and this is something that I don't say as often, but मुझे ऐसा यकीन है कि मैं एक दिन मार्स पक्का जाऊंगा.
Yes.
And it's quite possible that I'll settle there, but at least not as a scientist. So that is the only thing that has not been done. But I wanted to.
Jeff Bezos went to space, I guess. So it's a near possibility.
It is. I think we're looking at that now.
Yeah. So what was your dream?
Space scientist. I wanted to become a space scientist. That was all that I was dreaming for. So 11th and 12th में science ली, physics मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगती थी. I was good at it.
Like a lot of us.
I know. by choice or by pressure. And then I joined Delhi University for its Bachelor's of Physics program. मैंने IIT के लिए fight मारी, 2 साल नहीं हुआ.
Again, like a lot of us.
और I never wanted to become an engineer, but I don't know. It is just like वो एक जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार होता है हर साइंस स्टूडेंट का.
Again, like a lot of us.
Exactly, right? So बस यही चलता रहा. फिर and उस समय पे there was this the FitG and the brilliant tutorials and Vidya Mandirs and so on. अब तो बहुत सारी चीजें आ गई हैं.
Yeah.
But didn't make it. So Delhi University Bachelor's of Physics program. And then जब वो खत्म हुआ फिर मैंने US universities में apply शुरू करना किया. And I actually went for my PhD program to Michigan State University. And I was there for 2 years and then I came back.
So I was doing some research and incidentally, you were 24 when you came back. That was 2004. And 2004 was the time when this movie of Shah Rukh Khan came, Swades. So was there sort of an intersection over there that you came back because of watching that movie, or there was some other reason?
No, I did watch that movie for a really long time, but a lot of people are like, ये तो Mars का हम एलॉन मस्क से देख चुके हैं या वो स्वदेश में भी देख चुके हैं, ये तो ढोंगी है. But I frankly lay claim that this happened all before my knowledge of it. I came back because this was true blue, organic, first principles thinking from my side that I wanted to drop out.
Still, I think you would have learned a lot from your stay over there. So, and you've come back, and I'm sure even after coming back to India, you've been connected to the Valley in some way, or to a lot of entrepreneurs who've gone outside. What is something that we can learn from there? Because, the trend of startup started a long time ago over there, and only now we can see that, last year with so many unicorns. Like, what is something that we can learn from them today?
Yeah, you're right, Karthik, that the 2 years I spent in the US were transformational because it was the first time I had experienced a completely different culture. So India back then, still today, was a land of scarcity. क्योंकि 125 करोड़ लोग हैं, opportunities limited हैं, चाहे जितनी भी तेजी से बढ़ रही हैं, लेकिन हर एक इंसान के लिए नहीं है. And that meant लाइन में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. Right? JEE की लाइन में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा, तुम्हें इस टॉप IIMs में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा, तुम्हें किसी UPSC में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. It is basically not necessarily an equal opportunity platform as yet.
Yeah.
But when I went to the US, it was my first time to see that everything was in abundance. Anything that you wanted, whether it was food, whether it was entertainment, whether it was sports, whether it was hobbies, whether it was facilities, it was opportunities, it was infrastructure, everything was laid out. And that meant that the only way you succeed in that country is if you work intensely hard and you are insanely smart. And that was fascinating because in India, you could succeed if your parents knew somebody, or if you were just born with shitloads of money, or if you went to a certain school, or if you looked a certain way or spoke a certain way. And wahan wo sara barrier, at least fundamentally, mujhe nahi dikha. And this taught me a lot because, as I said, it was my first experience of looking at something which was equal opportunity, which did not differentiate between me as an Indian student from Delhi, Lajpat Nagar, all the way to Michigan, figuring out what it is. I was an equal. I was equal with my American counterparts, with my Chinese counterparts, with my Korean counterparts, and that just blew me away, man. It just blew me away. So when I came back, I realized कि ये एक life lesson तो जिंदगी में नहीं भूलना है कि intense work and smartness, not inborn smartness, IQ नहीं, smartness that is acquired, smartness that is grown over life. ये अगर दो चीजें आपने हासिल कर ली तो आप दुनिया की किसी भी जंग को जीत सकते हैं.
Yeah, an interesting thing that I pointed out, that you said that there were two things. One is about working hard and one is about smartness. And in India, especially because I've also been brought up in a middle class family, it was more about तुम ज़्यादा काम करोगे, तुम ज़्यादा मेहनत करोगे, तुम ज़्यादा achieve करोगे, rather than maybe a lot towards smartness. So like, what is your viewpoint about that? Like, is that a difference between the culture over there or here? Because यहाँ पे एक है कि ज़्यादा काम करोगे तो ही तुम successful बनोगे, where I think there it is more about time and how you invest your time and things like that. So what is your viewpoint upon that?
It is, yeah. This is, we still have a education system that thrives on memorizing, that thrives on writing pages and pages in paper, like ma'am extra sheet, ma'am extra sheet, ma'am extra sheet. नहीं तो वो लगा रहता है. And there is almost like this competition of sorts of who is filling in more sheets, who is doing more homework.
That was always a pressure. मैंने ज़बरदस्ती की शीटें ली है.
I know, exactly.
Like,
ये ऐसा क्या जानते हैं, ऐसा क्या लिख रहे हैं जो हमें नहीं पता है. Same question paper दोनों को मिला है. ये इतना कैसे लिख रहे हैं? But that was just it. And you go there and it is all about understanding. It's all about reasoning. It's all about not memorizing कि 2 + 2 = 4. वहाँ हर एक स्टूडेंट के पास बचपन से कैलकुलेटर होता है, क्योंकि उन्हें ये पता है कि सिर्फ टेबल्स याद करना और like I'm sure you guys also offended, but हमारे टाइम पे हमें log tables याद करने पड़ते थे यार.
Yes.
Like who the hell remembers log tables? Like why should I remember log 3 क्या होता है और log 5 क्या होता है? How is it possible? Because सब कुछ available है. So having a calculator is such a smart way of making you realize how do you go about solving the problem as against what the right answer of the problem is.
I think one generational change that happened was that हमारे में log table की एक book मिलती थी, वो पूरी की पूरी रूम में सर्कुलेट होती थी. But the fun part about that was that जब एक बार वो log book खुलती थी, क्योंकि आंसर सबका एक ही log ढूंढ रहे होते थे सारे के सारे, तो एक तरीके से चुपके से मार्क हो जाता था. तो सारे के सारे लोग उसी उसको देख के यही log लेना, यही आंसर है कहीं ना कहीं से. तो अगर ये नहीं आ रहा तो मतलब you're going in the wrong direction.
Wrong direction. Oh, ये log 28 हो रहा है और मेरा तो log 13 निकला हुआ है अभी तक, तो बस हाँ, then you know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about how ISB changed your life and what was the role of ISB, because I think that time it was not as established a college. Right now it is a dream college for a lot of people. So I wanted to know how that phase and what ISB did to your life.
Yeah, so ISB served a very different but also a very important phase in my life. So the US gave me this realization कि मेहनत and acquired smartness, these are the ways to go. But frankly, मेरी जिंदगी में मेरे पास कोई perspective नहीं था. I was a physics student. I was a geek. I still am to a great extent. So I just immersed myself into sciences, and I had zero perspective about the real world. Finance क्या होता है, marketing क्या होती है, IT क्या होता है, strategy क्या होता है, HR क्या होता है, nothing whatsoever. And that is why when I thought of going for an MBA program, my choice was to go to ISB. While it was an insanely expensive program, and I had cracked other colleges also, which were equally good, if not better, I was like, I want to be around people who have done real shit in life, because I don't know anything. I really do not know anything. And I don't want to make classroom my only way of learning. I would love to sit with an army major and learn or hear about leadership stories. I would love to sit with a finance major and read about or know about how what we're learning in class applies to some extent, but the actual learning is outside, which applies in real world. And that happened at ISB. It was fascinating because I was surrounded by such smart people. I was the dumbest person in the batch. And that meant all I was doing was just absorbing. And that made me richer in not just what I could be doing in life, but also my own understanding of who I was.
So I believe that those were the building days of Ankur Warikoo, the entrepreneur, I would say. With how you moved on to Groupon and then finally Nearby. So how did the whole Groupon story actually unfold? How did you get in touch with the people who were doing it in the US? And why did you feel that Groupon was something that could work in India? Because India is a totally different market. Unka offers and uske upar there is a different view. So why did you think it had some scope in India? And maybe if you could share an anecdote or two of how all of that unfolded in our country.
Totally, yeah. I had, so most things in my life, Karthik, have happened because of luck. I'm not the smartest person I know. I'm not the most hardworking person I know. So I am just a factor of luck. And अगर किसी को भी जिंदगी में luck पे कोई भी question mark होगा, तो मेरी जिंदगी will convince them there is something called that. So as luck would have it, I'd started the startup journey in 2009, and that was with a friend of mine from ISB. The first website that I was part of was called secondshadi.com. It was India's first matrimonial website for remarriages. So जिन लोगों को अपनी दूसरी या तीसरी या चौथी शादी करनी थी, that was a platform for them to find a mate for them. And that did really well. And then that followed it up with another website called gadi.com, which still continues to run and did fairly well in the car segment. So we did that for about a year and a half. And then there were three of us. We went our ways. We were like, ठीक है, अच्छा हो गया, लेकिन कुछ friction hai, and we appreciate that. We are adults, so let's go our ways. And I was looking for what next to do. So एक दिन ISB की alumni email base पे एक email आती है. German company looking for Indian founders. I read about the email. I like, interesting lag raha hai. And let's apply. I didn't do any research. Zero research, which is, by the way, a bad way of doing anything in life. So, एक बार company का नाम भी Google नहीं किया. And this was not because I was desperate or anything. It was just that the email looked very interesting. It was a German company. They had a fashion e-commerce company in Europe, which was very large, and they wanted to replicate that fashion e-commerce company in India. So I applied, and the next thing I know, they called me. We had a good chat. I liked them. They liked me. And they said, sure, why don't you start this business for us? And we started building towards an e-commerce company in fashion for India. This company, by the way, finally became Jabong.com. So I was the original team of Jabong.com, but that's not what's interesting. What's interesting was, because we had done zero research, we figured that this company is not legally allowed in India.
How?
Because there are FDI regulations on multi-brand retail in India. No one can do multi-brand retailing in India if it's an international company, which is why Walmart is not there, which is why any multi-brand retail outlet is not there. You only have Zara or Nike or Adidas, which are single brand outlets. And that same applied to e-commerce as well. So we did our homework for 3 months. We hired a team, we did everything, but we actually could not find a legal way of running the company. So we had to shut down the company. And I shut down a company that I started 3 months back for them. And when that entire shutdown happened, the founder of the German company is, by the way, Rocket Internet, which is a very big company now. And the founder there, Oliver, we used to call him Ollie. He said, hey, what are you doing now? Ab to shutdown ho gaya. Tum to berozgar ho, to kya kar rahe ho? I was like, nothing. I'm just looking for what I could do. He's like, yeah, there is this very interesting company called Groupon, and we are responsible for its international expansion. And we want to start the India business. Do you want to have a look at it? I was like, okay, देखते हैं क्या. Then I Googled Groupon, क्योंकि अब मैं थोड़ा जख्मी हो चुका था, तो I like Google करना जरूरी है. So I Googled Groupon, and I was fascinated because it was discounts and deals, which is a pretty big thing in India.
Yeah.
It was local commerce, so it was restaurants, spa, salons, and I'm a very, very local retail guy. Like as much as I'm a tech entrepreneur, I love going to malls. I love going to movie halls. I love going out.
More about the experience.
Yeah. Exactly, right? हमारे घर पे ऑर्डर इन नहीं होता है, अगर होता भी है तो सिर्फ डोमिनोज पिज्जा ही होता है और कुछ और हम ऑर्डर नहीं करते हैं, हम हमेशा मूवी भी बाहर देखते हैं एटलीस्ट कोविड से पहले, so on and so forth. So this felt like something I would enjoy. And imagine getting deals and discounts from your best places to the Indian consumer on an online manner. So it was the best combination of what I love, technology as well as local retail.
Experience. Yeah.
So that's why I signed up, and the next thing you know, Groupon India started in India.
Great. On a side note, I was actually thinking how when I became a fan of Ankur Warikoo. So this is a fun anecdote actually. So I had a small entrepreneurship stint in college. So I'm not flexing, but yeah. Anyway, so after that I started getting a lot of ads about your entrepreneurship course. I actually wanted to have a look, so I went to the website and I had a look at the course structure. I was like, yeah, this is fair enough. I could give it a thought, but at that point of time, I didn't want to spend 1,500 rupees as a college student. So that's true. So, but what happened after that was bizarre. For the next 1 year, Ankur, any ad any video I would watch on YouTube, and it was just you. It was just you. It was for 1 year that it was like Ankur Warikoo himself is chasing me that please buy this course, and I gave in. I think that was one of the most bizarre ways I ended up buying something. So what is the digital marketing strategy that you are using for your courses? I need to know this.
And you are not the only person, Karthik, who's given me this feedback. So there are 2 parts to it. Number 1, by design. Number 2, outside of our control. Here is what is by design. I create a lot of content across social media, and all of that content is free, and it will always be free. I will never charge anybody for watching my YouTube ad or having a podcast or newsletter or anything like that. The only thing that I charge for are my courses. And my courses are then run through a digital marketing engine.
And your book that we will be talking about at the end.
The book, क्योंकि book free में नहीं दे सकते तो इसलिए
no.
But आ चुका है PDF Telegram पे बहुत घूम रहा है. So the idea is I will, through my ads, reach out to millions of people, and at some point of time they'll be like, यार ये कौन है, क्यों हमारे पीछे पड़ गया, like जो तुम्हारा भी था, like ये कौन. And then I'm hoping that at some point of time they will Google me up, because सारे लोग मेरे जैसी गलती तो नहीं करते हैं, लोग Google करते हैं actually चीजें. So they will Google me up, and when they Google, they will see years and years of content across platforms, absolutely free. So they will know that I am not a fly-by-night operator who has zero value to bring to somebody. And hopefully that will get them to trust me and then convert. Should they not want to, they will continue to get my free content forever. But should they want to, they will get value in the course that runs.
And one of the most interesting things, sorry to interrupt.
No, go on.
One of the most interesting things about the course was that there was a clause, and I loved this clause. I think I haven't seen it at a lot of places. If you do not like the course, you can get the 1,500 rupees back. And I was like,
exactly.
I'm safe. If agar मेरे को अच्छा भी लगा, so I can just give it back.
Exactly.
And as a customer, you do not do that. So it's like I've seen a lot of videos where you talk about the trust. How even at nearby Groupon, you had that trust that, okay, I'm giving out laptops even when you're getting the offer letter, even before you get the offer letter, and you're getting the salary the starting of the month. So it had a lot to do about trust, and I really admire that about you, about wherever you work with nearby Groupon or at your own.
No, that is thank you for mentioning that, because that is just so true. And it happens, like I get a lot of emails every day, which is like, Ankur, loved the course, but गरीब हूँ, पैसे चाहिए, I need a refund. And like, भाई ले, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. इतने पैसों से ना मैं अमीर बनूंगा, ना मेरी आत्मा को कोई सुकून मिलेगा, knowing that you needed that money. Please take it. I just want to add value. And if anybody feels that it's not adding value, you get no questions asked refund anytime. And I don't know of any other course that does that, at least in India. While internationally there are a lot of these platforms. So that is how I think of my content, as a trust engine and not a sales engine. You will never find me selling anything through my content. You will only see me selling through my ads. And the ads don't run on my channels. Like the YouTube ad runs on a completely different channel. My Instagram ads run from my wife's channel. So all of that has nothing to do with my content. मेरा content मेरे ads की वजह से नहीं spread होता है. It just genuinely goes out because thankfully people find value. But the ads are the way of reaching out to a far bigger set.
I'll try to come a bit back again. So like you went on to start Nearby, which was bought by Groupon India, which is as you say, it was a bizarre move, but yeah, it worked. And I think that it was a very passionate move. And once it became all yours, I'm sure that the passion would have multiplied 2 or 3 times. But after 3-4 years down the line of successfully running it, you wanted to, you stepped down and you hanged up your boots with Nearby. I wanted to talk about dispassion. We talk about for everything, and every influencer, every person talks about passion. You need to make your goals and pursue it passionately, but no one really talks about dispassion. And a lot of people face that problem because even if I'm starting a job, if I've started a new startup, I do not know what is the right time to hang my boots. We don't know when to leave our job. What is the time that we feel that the time that we're putting is not giving us that much worth. So how to identify that point, and how difficult is it to start with that process of dispassion, and how to go forward with it?
That's a good question. Yeah, a very thoughtful question. So the question that I often ask Karthik is, how is the outcome going to change if I continue to stay here? And how is it going to be different if I don't stay here?
Okay.
And I asked that question for Nearby. And the answer to me was very obvious, that my staying at Nearby is not going to materially alter the outcome of Nearby. And this was because of 3 reasons. One, I'd built a kick-ass team. So my ability or even my need to be there was much lesser. Number 2, it was a market that was growing at its own pace. So we couldn't do anything to grow the market faster. हम restaurants तो नहीं खड़े कर सकते, हम spa salon तो नहीं खड़े कर सकते, हम कुछ ऐसा नहीं बेच रहे हैं जो हम खुद बना रहे हैं. We're only marketing the services of others. And that's why we will be at the women fancy of how the market grows. So if COVID happens, the market collapses. If COVID doesn't happen, the market continues to grow. But everything there is then a function of an externality and not an interior thing that you can drive. And then number 3 is, if the business does not get impacted by you staying there, if the market is driven by an external force and not internal, what is it that you could do outside of this that you would want to do, or that has a far higher opportunity gain for you than the opportunity cost you're giving? And when I answer this question, and it doesn't have to be for a founder, it could be for anything, it could be for a job. Is my sticking in this job going to materially change the outcome of this company? And more often than not, the answer is no, unless you're very senior. Is this role and my growth in this role driven by how good I am, or is it driven by an externality that I can't control?
Especially for MNCs. For MNCs, would you ever feel that you are that important to the company?
And it frankly depends, Karthik, on what kind of role are you playing in that MNC. Because there are a lot of roles that people do play where you're not working necessarily for the India unit, or even if you're working in the India unit is meaningful in the entire piece. For example, if there's anyone who's working at Google India right now, that's a great role to be in, because Google knows for a fact that India is one of its key markets for the next 20 years, if not more. And so every eye and ear and strength of Google globally is, India may not be big right now, but in the next 20 years, this is going to be the country which will make us continue to remain big. And that's why it's a great spot to be in. But if you are, I don't know, some random Warikoo company working in some random function, it's quite possible कि आपके रहने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. आपका पूरा ग्रोथ जो है वो आपके मैनेजर पे डिपेंडेंट है, या उसके बॉस पे डिपेंडेंट है, या एक मार्केट पे डिपेंडेंट है जिसको आप कोई कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते. And you know that if you would step out, you can actually get something just as meaningful, if not more, than what you have.
Great. I think it's getting a bit serious. I do have a lot of more serious questions, but to sort of break the flow, I think let's have a round of rapid fire. So I'd prepared
Let's
something.
do that.
And although this is not Coffee with Karan and you're not getting any gift hamper, but yeah, this is Red Bull with Karthik, and this is our sponsor. So yeah, I'll have to do that as well. Any screenshots? Great. Okay, yeah. I hope you have Red Bull in that. Okay, so I'm going to put out a few. It's going to be like I'll give you two things, and you need to choose which one you would prefer. Okay, so Elon Musk or Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Steve Jobs.
Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli?
Sachin.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Zomato or Swiggy?
Zomato.
Pani Puri or Vada Pav?
Pani Puri.
Okay, this was the trial round. Now we'll start with the real round. Okay. 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 So the more challenging situation you faced, starting nearby or starting your YouTube channel?
Oh, starting nearby, 100%.
If you had one superpower, it would be
to fly.
Why so?
I don't know. Like I live on the 13th floor, so I just imagine underbread lena hoga, jao lao wapas aa jao. It's so cool.
Great. I think more related to your thing with astrophysics, and you wanted to go to Mars. So I think it's an extension of that. Crypto versus stocks? Stocks. Okay. 1 lakh of ESOPs versus 20 lakhs of cash. And let's consider this to be a well-moving startup. Yeah, it's a good startup.
मैं यही सवाल पूछने वाला था.
Like Zomato maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a 20x. I'd say 20 lakhs of stocks. 20 lakhs of cash.
Okay, cash is king. I think in the last video you or maybe a LinkedIn post you said that if your company is just giving you cash, then it's of no worth.
It's like no. So what I meant was there are some startups that are so poor that they only give their employees money.
Yeah, cash, money.
Which is like a startup should ideally give so much more. Like growth हो सकता है, learning हो सकती है, mentoring हो सकती है, opportunities हो सकती है. लेकिन तुम सिर्फ पैसे पे रुक जाओगे, then फिर तुम like कहाँ के startup? तो कहीं और भी इतनी सारी कंपनीज.
Being the Sindhi I am, I just had in money के जगह होगा ESOPs. इससे ज़्यादा तो दिमाग में नहीं आया.
नहीं.
Right.
I did.
If you had to put all your savings in a startup, what industry is it most likely to be? Today.
Fintech.
Work from home or work from office?
Yeah, 2 days work from office.
You have to choose one. You have to choose one.
Work from office.
I got it. Yeah. It should be an amalgamation, I think, moving forward, right?
But work from office. If office is fun, and then office generally for me is fun, and I like building offices which are very fun. Like nearby ke sare offices, we had 2 offices in 4 years. They were just great places to be, like infrastructure wise, camaraderie wise, ek buzz tha, ek vibe, ek energy thi, which was.
Then how could you leave that baby of yours? I'm still clueless about that fact.
No, when you turn 39,
I'll be moved. Like when I was researching about all of this, मेरे दिमाग में एक बहुत naive सवाल I would say, but was that okay if this is not interesting enough, why not use the same brand to do something else or enter some other industry? Because I'm sure you would be making revenue and you would be in a good stage. So you could have maybe, you would correct me because I am wrong, but yeah, you could have maybe moved to some other space. Like you're interested in fintech, why not shape it towards the fintech side? So I really wanted to know that.
So there, and I have a philosophy which, by the way, is just mine, and I don't necessarily think everyone should adhere to it. I don't like the concept of pivoting to just survive. What I mean by that is, if nearby is whatever it is, or for that matter, any other startup is what it is, but for some reason it's not working out, when you pivot to a completely different thing, essentially what you're doing is you're just focused on survival. You're not focused on the problem anymore. And I love to fall in the problem. I love to fall in love with the problem. सो आई लाइक यार ये प्रॉब्लम ना मीनिंगफुल है, तो या तो मैं इस प्रॉब्लम को चेज करना बंद कर दूं या मैं इस प्रॉब्लम पे लगा रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं एक दूसरी प्रॉब्लम नहीं उठा सकता हूं जस्ट बिकॉज आई नीड अ प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व इन लाइफ. इफ आई हैव टू देन आई विल स्टार्ट ऑल ओवर अगेन विद दैट. एंड दिस आई थिंक कम्स फ्रॉम द फैक्ट कि आई फाइंड इट वेरी इजी टू लेट गो ऑफ थिंग्स. मेरे लिए कोई इमोशनल अटैचमेंट नहीं है चीजों के साथ. लाइक रिश्ते आर द ओनली थिंग्स दैट आई वुड बी इमोशनली अटैच्ड टू, बट फॉर मी running a company at some point of time is solving a problem, and I am a insane worker when it comes to solving a problem. But if the problem is not getting solved, I wouldn't move to some other problem using the same vehicle. I'll be like, no, we'll start the problem all over again.
Okay, talking about problems, one of your recent videos, I think you posted last week, was about the tough time you had when you had left nearby. And I think, is it fair to call it one of the lowest point in your career?
It wasn't the lowest point, but it was, it was tough. It was just tough. I wouldn't call it low. Like I wasn't low. I wasn't like, oh, zindagi barbaad ho gayi, ye sab wagera. But it was tough.
Yeah, so like how did you overcome that point? Because that is the point when I also felt, okay, Ankur Warikoo is human. After that video, I realized, okay, Ankur Warikoo is human. He also has faced problems, although you say you have had a very up and down life. But yeah, that is truly when I felt, okay, this was a low point. And maybe talk more about that, because as students we also face IIT नहीं हुआ, पहले साइंस नहीं मिल रही है, फिर IIT नहीं हुआ. So at every point we feel, okay, this is rock bottom. And how do you come over at that? This sort of philosophical question, but really wanting your point of view on that.
Yeah, I just have one point of view on that, Karthik, which has really helped me in life, and that is कि ना हम जिंदगी में भूखे नंगे नहीं मरेंगे. We're already above survival. We are not fighting for survival. Like this group which is watching this conversation on a nice phone or their nice laptop or iPad with an internet connection, warm and cozy in their bed or wherever they are sitting, this group is not fighting for survival. It's fighting for social validation. It is fighting to come across as successful in the eyes of others. And I frankly don't care about that. मुझे घंटा फर्क पड़ता है कि लोग मेरे बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, because I know myself really well. I know myself really. I am my best friend. I can talk to myself whatever I want to. I know my deepest fears. I know my deepest secrets. I know my strengths. I can lift myself up whenever I want to. Like I'm my best friend ever. And that just means कि किसी भी point पे आप अगर मर नहीं रहे हैं या आपकी फैमिली आपसे छीनी नहीं जा रही, you can always bounce back, my friend. There is nothing that you can't do in life. Nothing at all. And all of these steps now, IIT and this job and this gadi and this bangla, this shan and shaukat, all of this are just means. At the end of it, why do we want to go to a certain institution? Because we think that it guarantees success. But what is success for us? Is it money? Is it satisfaction? Is it contentment? Is it happiness? Is it peace? And we rarely ask that question. तो हम भाई चल जाते हैं हुर गधे के जैसे खींचने लगते हैं अपनी गाड़ी, लेकिन कोई आइडिया नहीं है जाना का. तो कोई और हमारे पीछे चाबुक मार मार के हमें चला रहा है. वो माँ बाप हो सकते हैं, समाज हो सकता है, लोगों का डर हो सकता है, whatever the case may be. And we are never free. We think we are because we seem to be ahead of the cart, but there's someone on the cart who is whipping us and making it happen. Long story short, I don't care about what the world thinks of me. And I have this absolute irrational belief in myself that I'm not going to die of hunger or poverty. With these two things combined, there is no low point in life. It is just a point to move on from. And yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, because even my father really says this, that so his my grandfather's generation, what they worked for was survival. They lived hand to mouth. What their aspiration was that, okay, I want that my children have 2 meals a day. What my dad's generation wanted was maybe a car or a house, somewhat of those luxuries. And what our generation wants is something more than that. It's, as you said, validation, social validation, and job satisfaction, things like that. So yeah, fair point, and continuing to this point as well. So when you started your content journey, and I think the main target group that you had in mind was people in their 20s.
Yeah.
And again, I will not make the mistake of calling you old, but you trying to pivot to that at the age of 40. How difficult was it to empathize with people like us? Empathizing with the problems that we face, and even I'm sure the things that you learned about investing when you were 20 is quite different from what we are. We are born in the age of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So, and you were
Yeah.
born in the time of Tata, Reliance, and
I know,
90s.
exactly.
So how
Exactly.
difficult was it to empathize with us?
Yeah, it wasn't, because for the last 10 years, I had built teams which were pretty much the same age segment. And because I had hired them, I had worked closely with them, there was a certain sense of understanding. Of course, it becomes harder and harder. And that is why I spend a lot of time interacting with young folks and trying to understand what is it that they're going through. I also make myself immensely accessible. So I get a lot of emails on a daily basis. I get a lot of DMs. I try and read all of them. I read all my emails. और उससे पता चल जाता है कि
I had mailed you my
में,
startup pitch. I did not yet get a reply, but okay.
So
yeah.
I read all my emails. I don't reply to all my emails. And I if you send it to me again, I can tell you what will be the feedback of why I didn't reply.
I'll do that today.
But it was fun, yeah, because I realized that आप लोगों की generation जो है ना, it's a very, very unique generation, because for the first time in world history, everything is democratized and accessible to everybody who has a device and the internet connection. And you all have grown up on that. Like हमारी generation में we have moved from no internet to internet. तो हमने एक दुनिया देखी है जहाँ हमें 2 दिन पहले कोऑर्डिनेट करना पड़ता था कि हम प्रिया में ना 4 बजे मिलेंगे और मैं मैकडॉनल्ड्स के सामने खड़ा होऊंगा और मैंने लाल शर्ट पहनी होगी, because that's the only way that you can. But today, it's like, location based. So it's a very, very different generation. But that also poses a problem, because you guys are living in an era of maximum abundance that this world has ever seen. हर कुछ जो तुम्हें चाहिए वो available है. No, you need a book, click. You need movies, click. You need food, click. You need a cab, click. You need love, swipe right. तो जो कुछ भी चाहिए available at the speed of thought. And that makes it not easy but hard, because we didn't have that. Like हमारे लिए क्या था? 11th 12th में engineering करनी है, या तो CA बनना है, या lawyer बनना है, या doctor बनना है. वो खत्म दुनिया. But today, like, I can become a YouTuber, I can become a fashion designer, I can become an archaeologist, I can become a scientist, I can of course do all of these things, but engineering, maybe I can do chemical, but I can also do biomedical, and I can also do something else that didn't even exist. And you're spoiled for choices, and that makes it really, really hard. So I felt that this would be something that I would enjoy, because I could understand the generation, speak a language that hopefully they relate to, and yeah, that's
You've
why I
done
started creating
brilliantly.
content.
I'm sure you've done brilliantly. The numbers speak for themselves. So, although I would really want some questions from the crowd, till then, I would really want to talk about the book, and I think that's the main thing. Do epic shit, and I feel that every book is like a startup, or like any company. Book is written to solve a problem. At least a non-fiction book, I would say, is to solve a problem. What is the problem that you saw that you wanted to write this book, and when did this eureka moment really happen, that okay, now I need to start writing about it? So yeah, something about that.
So the purpose of the book, and I love the question, by the way, the purpose of the book is singular, Karthik. It is to get people started on the habit of reading. So the book is actually not meant for people who read books. It's meant for people who rarely read books or have never read a book, because it is written in a manner that it does not create pressure on you. It does not have a start. It does not have a finish. You can literally open up on any page and you can start the book from there. It's very, very light. It's a big font. It doesn't leave you with confusion, but it leaves you with a lot of thoughts and a lot of questions. And it is a combination of my life experiences, my failures, and everything, which makes it also relatable, because I want people to know कि अगर आपको ये इंसान 40 साल की उम्र में सक्सेसफुल लगता है, तो आपको ये जानना जरूरी है कि इस इंसान ने भी बहुत 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 सारी गलतियां करी हैं. And if you are also going through the same mistakes or the same failures, then it should give you hope कि अगर ये गधा कुछ कर सकता है, तो मैं तो बहुत स्मार्ट हूँ इससे, तो मैं तो कर ही लूंगा.
Great. I think we'll have the link of the Amazon of Amazon the book in the comment section and on the YouTube channel as well. I have bought my copy. It is taking some time, but yeah, I'm really dying to read it. And you know, I saw a lot of people talk about this about the readability, and you know, I remember my younger brother. He's never read a book. He bought 7 Harry Potter books and he finished it in like 7 days. And after that, it's been like 3 years after that, and he's still not read another book. So I think, you know, there are some books that have that sort of readability that people can just connect to it very easily, even people who have not read. So I think, I'm sure that is the problem that you're solving, one, and obviously a lot about your life lessons. So you know, I also believe that to do epic shit has to happen to you. And is Ankur Warikoo also human? Did shit happen with him? And what is it that happened because of which he wrote the book?
Yeah, a lot of things, and there is an entire section devoted to success and failure, where I speak about the mistakes I made in my 20s, mistakes I made in my 30s, mistakes I made with money, my own failure resume. So when I turned 40, I wrote a failure resume, which is like, you know, a resume is usually things जो आपने करी हैं, you know, you've done so well.
और जो नहीं करी शायद.
Exactly, but no one has a failure resume, and I made one. It's like ये है वो सारी चीजें जहाँ मैं fail हुआ, and those things have shaped me up. Like the book is actually not dedicated to anybody, whether my family or any mentor or guru of mine. The book is dedicated to my failures. And that is what the dedication in the book also says.
Great. I think, guys, please start putting out your questions. I would want to take questions from you now. And yeah, I'll just start with I'll just shoot my last question. So, Ankur, you've had a great journey with ups and downs, and with a lot of successes and failures. Where do you see yourselves in 5 years?
This is one of my favorite questions to
ask or to answer.
To only answer. I do not like asking this question, but I'll tell you why. Because my answer to this question is, I do not know where I will be 5 years from now, and I'm totally okay with that. And that takes a lot of time to get to. But once you get there, you realize you're truly, truly free.
I can see why I was not selected for some companies, because this is not the answer that I gave. I gave some very vague answers. I think I need to learn from this one. So yeah, shoot down your questions, guys. I cannot see a lot of questions, but I'm sure you do have a lot of questions. Okay, there's someone.
Oh, wow.
You are my idol, sir. I admire you. Want to be time ninja? Is that what it is? Yeah. I think if you can write down your questions, or if you will raise your hand. I think okay. Okay, I am getting a lot of questions now. Great.
Yeah, now it's.
Okay, can you see them as well? Yeah, I think you can. So there is.
Yeah, I can.
Shark Tank favorite judge. Yeah, what is your viewpoint on Shark Tank? I would want to know from you as well.
Yeah, not a big fan, but not because of what most people are saying, you know, बहुत dramatized है और ये सब वगैरह. I'm not a big fan because it over-indexes on funding for a startup as success. And frankly, that is not. Like, as someone who has raised a lot of money, I can tell you with conviction कि funding से एक startup की किसी भी बुनियाद को कुछ नहीं होता है, except that you just get a fake sense of confidence. So it is something that is not appropriate for the.
Yeah, even the way, like 50% equity pay, that was the time when I lost it. Like, no, knowing a little bit about startups, I know that is not the right way to be because I feel that the founder loses, the sense of ownership once you give 50%, or those kind of numbers on equity. How do I convert an idea into a product and know that the idea is worth working on? I think the first episode of the course is something that will answer that well. So I will market that for you.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you could answer that question in a line or two.
Yeah, the best way to test the idea is to actually launch the product without launching the business.
Yes,
and as Karthik mentioned, there is a way that I described, which is a 14-day test that I've personally conducted on so many ideas that you can as well. But there is a short video on YouTube also that you can check for that, so you don't have to buy the course for it.
Okay. Any question that you can see, Ankur, or I'll...
Oh, there are a lot. There are like 354. So, hold on. Okay, let me...
अपनी मुस्कान का राज बताओ सर.
जिंदगी में दुख की कोई वजह ही नहीं है. So, okay, this is a good one. Harsh has this. Is it necessary to go to an MBA school for starting a startup and being an entrepreneur? The answer is no, Harsh. MBA schools are actually the worst place to go to learn about startups, because MBA schools are what? Masters in Business Administration. So they will teach you the fundamentals of business, but वो एक धंधा चलाना नहीं सिखाएंगे, वो आपको administer करना सिखाएंगे, which is very different from starting a business and going in there. Now that doesn't mean that an MBA is not a good place to be, but if you want to start up, don't go for an MBA. But after you've gone to an MBA, you can of course start up, and you will be better off than anybody else who's not gone for an MBA.
If I move forward and I post another counter question on that, like I've gone through your course, and there are a lot of frameworks that you talk about, a lot of ways that you try to structure the process of actually pinning down on your idea and working on your idea. So does that also somehow inhibit us from being free flowing? And because then we're sort of looking for frameworks and structures, like even an MBA, how it does that, it tells you that this is the right way to go. And I really feel that entrepreneurship, there is nothing, anything can go right, anything can go wrong. That's how bizarre it is actually today. So do you think that also inhibits it a little bit?
Yeah, anything that boxes your opinion is of course inhibiting. But I distinguish between boxing your opinion and lending structure to your opinion. The biggest problem that people have is that they don't have structure to their thoughts. तो उनके thoughts ना free flowing होती है. For example, every Friday I send out a newsletter. और आज के newsletter में मैंने discuss किया how do you take decisions in life, or how do you choose between decisions. For example, अगर आपको 2 job offers के बीच में choose करना है, या 2 colleges के बीच में choose करना है, how do you go about doing it? We do it by जज्बात. Like, अरे यार ये भी उसमें अच्छा है, वो अच्छा है, ये ऐसा है, वैसे है. But those are emotions, and emotions are a really, really bad judge of what should be the right thing to do. There is a mechanism that at least I follow in my life where I turn those emotions into numbers. And I say, okay, what is important for me in a college? कि placements कैसी है, brand कैसा है, peer group कैसा है, opportunities कैसी हैं, internships कैसे मिलती हैं, blah, blah, blah. And then I assign weightages to all these things that matter. And to each of the options that I have, I give it a score. When you do that, it's a very simple way for you to translate your emotions into numbers. Now, is that constraining your thought? No. In my opinion, it is structuring your thought, and that is why it's great. So frameworks give me the same purpose.
Well answered. Okay, I think I'll take one last question. I really like this one by Paras Gupta. So at this age, many people want to have a settled life. So are really courageous or adventurous that you do not want a life in which business keeps paying you on a regular basis, that too in loads? I think that's the question. I think it was not really a question. I felt it was a good question.
It was just a statement.
Yeah, it was a statement.
Let's just say we agree.
Even I was trying to end it in a way that it was a question, and I realized, no, I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay, I'll find another question, or maybe you could... How should college students know what activity to do and what not to do?
नहीं पता चलेगा. That is the best thing. नहीं पता चलेगा. करने से पहले किसी को कभी नहीं पता चल सकता whether it is the right thing for you or not. Because if you ask your seniors, they will give you an answer based on their perspective, right? So Karthik has had his own experience, and if you were to ask him, hey Karthik, should I do this? Should I do that? Karthik will answer the question not for you, but from his perspective, which is nothing wrong with what he does, but that is just the way it works. You have to, as a college student, you have 4 years. That's a really long time. Go out and do everything possible. Like, especially if you are in such a great place, in such a great university, in a place where you are in the capital city, you are working with smart people, you have opportunities, the best companies, the best roles coming to you. Go out and do as many internships as you can, pick up as many online courses as you can, be a part of as many communities and committees as you can, clubs, societies. Genuinely go out and discover yourself. 4 साल के अंदर आपको अपनी कॉलेज डिग्री नहीं लेनी है, 4 साल के अंदर आपको ये जानना है कि आप कौन है. And if you are able to answer that question in 4 years, which by the way is a really long time, and I think you can get to that answer, that's it. Job done. Uske baad, your choice. You are a CS grad, but you never wanted to be that. You will have the answer of what you want to do. You were a mechanical engineer and you wanted to be a software guy. You will have the answer what to do. The answers are all out there. You have to seek them out. And for that, there is no prescription. Don't hear or listen to anybody who says, ye karo, ye mat karo, ye karo, ye mat karo. Because then there is no difference between your parents and them.
Great, really well answered. Okay, so I think it's time to wrap up. I think this is going to be it. Just last one question is that when is the Ankur Warikoo biography movie coming, and who will be the main actor in that movie?
I have no idea, man. I'm not even planning for it, not even thinking about it. And if it happens, it'll be a miracle. And at that point of time, jisko bhi man karega mera role karne ka, कर ले.
एक तो कोई मन होगा कि if Shahrukh Khan or I think Shahrukh is a favorite actor, so that could be an option. Or
no, he's not my favorite actor. I really find him bad. He's a terrific charmer and he's a great entrepreneur. I think a good guy could be Ranbir Kapoor.
Yeah, he has experience of doing a lot of biographies, so I think good choice.
Yes,
good.
Yeah.
So I think that is about it. Thanks a lot, Ankur. Thanks a lot for joining us. And I think a lot of the people here are first years who have just joined college and are just finding their way out, trying to figure out what to do. I hope somewhere down the line they do something successful and they tell the world that okay, this is the time when I heard Ankur Warikoo and my life changed. So yeah, I hope you get a lot of mails today about how great the session was. Thanks a lot, Ankur, for joining us. Thanks a lot to everyone who is here, and I think let's hand it over to Ria and Jay for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best. Take care. Thanks for having me, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
ओके रिया यार, आजा यार, अकेले मत छोड़ ऐसे. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले तो हाय गाइस, हाउ आर यू. ठीक है, बहुत एक इंस्पिरेशनल सा सेशन था यार. आई एम आल्सो अ बिग फैन सर, इफ यू आर स्टिल हियर.
सो यार, पहली मुलाकात बहुत ज्यादा प्यारी जा रही है और अभी इतने प्यारे प्यारे, ऑब्वियसली इतने प्यारे प्यारे हमारे इवेंट्स गए हैं एंड तो मोर इज कमिंग. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. सो पहली मुलाकात, लाइक सीरियसली यार, ओपी लिखते रहो चैट में बिकॉज आई थिंक सीरियसली वी आर हैविंग सो मच फन. मैं तो बहुत ज्यादा फन कर रही हूँ इस टाइम पे, इवन इन द ऑनलाइन स्टफ.
ठीक है, कुछ लोगों से बात कर लेते हैं यार, इंटरेक्ट कर लेते हैं यहाँ से. थोड़े लोगों से बात कर लेते हैं, देखते हैं किस ने ऑन कर रखा है वीडियो. ठीक है, लेट्स टॉक टू एनीबडी हु इज अप फॉर अ चैट. ठीक है, हर्षित चोपड़ा. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट अनम्यूट यू ब्रो.
एमसी वालों को अलाउड है चैट करना?
हेलो भैया, बहुत इंस्पिरेशनल सेशन था, मजा आ गया.
हाय हर्षित, कैसा लगा भाई? हाउ
बहुत
वाज द
अच्छा
सेशन?
लगा मेरे को, बनने बहुत बढ़िया था, बहुत इंस्पिरेशन था. मतलब हर चीज मेरे को भी एंटरप्रेन्योर ही बनना है पीछे. तो आई वांट ऐसी एडमायर लोगों को एडमायर करना है. ही इज वेरी रीसेंट एंटरप्रेन्योर, सो बहुत सारी बातें हमें जानने को मिली. तो इट वाज वेरी.
अभी तू क्या कर रहा है यार हर्षित? कौन सा ईयर में है?
मैंने फर्स्ट ईयर कंप्यूटर साइंस.
फर्स्ट ईयर. अच्छा,
मतलब फर्स्ट ईयर्स ने काफी ज्वाइन कर रखा है बिकॉज एज आई सेड दे आर वेरी वेरी एक्साइटेड. Also, let's before we start conversation with the fuchas, तो उससे पहले हम पहले अपने नेक्स्ट सेलिब्रिटी को बुला लेते हैं जो हमारा गेस्ट है हमारे जो है ना, एंड देन विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग टू यू गाइस. Cool. So our next guest is he's a singer, songwriter, and a composer, and his name is Aseem Sharma. So hi Aseem. Yeah. So or Aseem, as you like.
Yes. Okay.
Just let me know.
Aseem is ready. Let's just keep quiet now, ठीक है? Guys, I want everybody to keep their videos on, ठीक है? Appreciate the artist. सारे अपनी videos on रखो, ठीक है? And sir,
Also,
you have the mic.
Yeah, you have the mic also, sir. What song you will be starting from?
Let's start with an A.R. Rahman number. Then I'll sing a few of my originals.
Yeah, that's what we are actually waiting for.
Perfect. So should we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So guys, my name is Aseem Sharma, and I am a singer-songwriter from Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's a great pleasure. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
और आप लोग सब अपने घर पे हो अभी, हॉस्टल्स में हो?
घर पर ही हैं mostly. Everybody is at home.
Okay. So a little something about myself. I am an engineer turned musician. After my engineering, I have been working on an album. So it's complete now. And right now I'm in the process of releasing the album, one song at a time. So 2 songs are already out.
Yeah.
I'll sing those songs as well. The album is called Kapas. So it's, if you don't know, it's cotton plant. It's called Kapas.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with an A.R. Rahman number, and then we'll. Okay. Do we have any A.R. Rahman fans?
Woohoo!
Okay, then you have to guess the song.
फिर से उड़ चला, उड़ के छोड़ा है जहान नीचे मैं तुम्हारे अब हूँ हवाले हवा. अब दूर दूर लोग बागों मिलों दूर ये वादियाँ. फिर धुआं धुआं हर बदली चली आती है छूने. कभी कोई बदली कभी कहीं कर दे तन गीला, ये भी ना हो. किसी मंजर पर मैं रुका नहीं, कभी खुद से भी मैं मिला नहीं. ये गिला तो है मैं खफा नहीं. शहर एक से गांव एक से लोग एक और नाम एक हो. फिर से उड़ चला है मिट्टी जैसे सपने, ये कितना भी पलकों से झाड़ू फिर आ जाते हैं. कितने सारे सपने क्या करूं, किस तरह से मैंने तोड़े हैं जोड़े हैं. क्यों मेरे साथ चले मुझे लेके उड़े, ये क्यों. कभी डाल डाल कभी पात पात मेरे साथ साथ फिर दर दरी. कभी सहरा कभी सावन मनु रावण जीव मर मर के. कभी डाल डाल कभी पात पात, कभी दिन है रात कभी दिन दिन है. क्या सच है क्या माया हे दाता, हे दाता. इधर उधर तितर बितर क्या है पता, हवा ले ही जाए तेरी ओर. से तेरी यादें तेरी ओर. टुटुरु 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 टुटुरु. रंग रेजा रंग मेरा तन में मेरा मन, ले ले रंगाई चाहे तन चाहे मन, रंग रेजा रंग मेरा तन मेरा मन, ले ले रंगाई चाहे तन चाहे मन, सजरा सवेरा मेरे तन भर से, कचरा तेरा तेरी जलती लो, कचरा मिला जो तेरे दरबार से, ओ मौला मौला, कुन फाया कुन, 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 फाया कुन, फाया कुन, फाया कुन, फाया कुन, kun faya kun faya kun. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was really amazing. Your voice is so amazing.
So should we start with some originals?
Yeah, sure. Can you please start with Kaise Jiye? Because I really like that song.
You've heard it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, obviously I've heard that.
Thank you so much. We'll start with that then. So this one is called Kaise Jiye. अभी 5 दिन पहले रिलीज हुआ है and it's on my YouTube channel. Please देख लो.
Yes.
और सब्सक्राइब भी कर देना. The channel is called Aseem Sharma, the same name. तेरी यादों के साए में हम कैसे जिए, गुम ख्यालों में तेरे हैं हम कैसे जिए, चांद रातों में तेरी यादों में देख तारे तेरी राह निहारे, एक बार आजा आके फिर ना जा, चंदा तुझको ही बस पुकारे, रात काली अकेले हैं हम कैसे जिए, गुम ख्यालों में तेरे हैं हम कैसे जिए, ना ना दाना तन्हाई रात मेरी हर बात तुझको ही तुझको पुकारे, दिल ये पूछे आंखें मीचे, तू किसकी राह निहारे, किसकी राह निहारे, रात सुनी है आंखें हैं नम, कैसे जिए, गुम ख्यालों में तेरे हैं हम कैसे जिए, तेरी यादों के साए में हम कैसे जिए. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Perfect song if you're going through a heartbreak.
Thank you so much. The next song is called Jugnu. ये भी रिलीज हो चुका है, ये भी मेरे चैनल पे है. So Jugnu is for all those people who dream. I mean, everyone who dreams is a Jugnu. So in this song was written specially for artists, but it applies to everyone. Please sing along. बहुत simple है ये वाला. मैं गुम हूँ अंधेरे उजालों में जुगनू की तरह, ये रोशनी रोशनी न काफी है, ढूंढूं घर मेरा। मैं गुम हूँ अंधेरे उजालों में, जुगनू की तरह। ये रोशनी न काफी है, ढूंढूं घर मेरा। मेरे घर में मेरा दिल है, कैसे जाऊं वहाँ। ओ चंदारे सूरज को बता, कोई राह दिखा। मैं गुम हूँ अंधेरे उजालों में, जुगनू की तरह। ना 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 मेरे घर में ख्वाबों का एक कमरा है, मेरा दिल भी है वहाँ। उस कमरे में लेकिन एक ताला है, चाबी है कहाँ। उस चाबी को मैं कैसे ढूंढूंगा, जुगनू की तरह। उस चाबी को मैं कैसे ढूंढूंगा, जुगनू की तरह। मैं गुम हूँ अंधेरे उजालों में, जुगनू की तरह। जुगनू की तरह, जुगनू की तरह। Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. I mean, I've heard this song obviously before, but like the live is amazing.
Thank you so much. And please listen to the song.
Also, yeah. So I've heard a lot of songs of yours, like all the covers as well. And in the comments, they say that you are the, you are the upcoming Arjit Singh. So as you a little look like him as well. Also, I've heard, as I said, I've heard a lot of songs of yours. So basically, as I get from it, you are a little into Sufi, classical, and stuff like ghazals and stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm into ghazals.
So yeah, can you please go for Jagdeep Singh? It's a request song.
Sure. कल 14वीं की रात थी, कल 14वीं की रात थी। शब भर रहा चर्चा तेरा, कल 14वीं की रात थी। कल 14वीं की रात थी। शब भर रहा चर्चा तेरा, कल 14वीं की रात थी। कुछ ने कहा ये चांद है, कुछ ने कहा ये चांद है। कुछ ने कहा चेहरा तेरा, कल 14वीं की रात थी। कल 14वीं की रात थी। हम भी वहीं मौजूद थे, हमसे भी सब पूछा किए। हम हंस दिए, हम चुप रहे, मंजूर था पर्दा तेरा, कल 14वीं की रात थी। कल 14वीं की रात थी। शब भर रहा चर्चा तेरा, कल 14वीं की रात थी। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Thank you.
सही में मतलब it's not just for all the girls. I think जितने भी single लौंडे हैं हम सारे भी एकदम दीवाने हो रहे हैं सुन के ये चीजें.
Thank you so
ठीक
much.
है.
Thank you.
So what's next for us?
An original or something else?
What do you
Anything you
think,
like, I
Okay.
mean,
So this is my next release. This is called Naya Ehsaas. So
okay.
इसकी मैं पहले एक स्टोरी सुना देता हूँ. दो दोस्त हैं, दो बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स हैं. दे आर फ्रॉम अ स्मॉल टाउन. तो बचपन के दोस्त हैं वो लोग, एक लड़का एक लड़की ऑब्वियसली. तो वो लोग जब वो बड़े हो गए, वो लोग कहीं मिलते हैं किसी बड़ी सिटी में. एंड दे मीट अप and they're chilling in a cafe and they suddenly start feeling something for each other. मतलब इससे पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था, बचपन से वो लोग साथ हैं. Suddenly वो कुछ feeling उनके अंदर आ जाती है. So that is नया एहसास. That feeling is नया एहसास. उसके बाद मतलब feeling आ जाती है, लेकिन वो लोग एक दूसरे को कुछ बोलते नहीं हैं, कुछ अपने अपने घर चले जाते हैं. घर जाने के बाद उनको ये भी लगता है कि दोनों को फील हो रहा है लेकिन बोल कोई नहीं रहा है. उनको ये भी लगता है कि अब अगर हम लोग बोलेंगे तो शायद फ्रेंडशिप खराब हो जाए या कुछ वो हो जाए. तो फाइनली दे डिसाइड, दे स्लीप एंड व्हेन दे वेक अप दे डिसाइड कि फ्रेंड्स ही ठीक है. सो दिस इज हियर इट गोस.
नया एहसास है कोई हुआ उस रात है कहीं. नया एहसास है कोई हुआ उस रात है कहीं. है चांद फिर से आ वो रात फिर ले आ. मुझे उसकी चांदनी में रहना है. मुझे उसकी चांदनी में रहना है. चाहे सही चाहे गलत उस रात का वो चांद याद आएगा. कुछ अनकही खामोशियाँ आँखों की वो मदहोशियाँ ख्वाबों में रोज नहीं आएंगी. ख्वाबों में रोज वही आएंगी. नया एहसास था कोई हुआ उस रात था कहीं. ऐ चांद फिर से आ वो रात फिर ले आ. मुझे उसकी चांदनी में रहना है. मुझे उसकी बाहों में रहना है. मुझे उसकी यादों में रहना है.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
अच्छा Aseem, I wanted to ask, like, can you give us a little थोड़ा सा background story of how you've started writing these?
Yeah.
हाँ, मतलब what
you
was the inspiration?
How you basically got into it and what was the starting story?
Okay. So basically, I'm learning classical since I was a kid. उसके बाद नॉन मेडिकल इंजीनियरिंग सब छूट गया. एक्चुअली मेरी फैमिली में आई हैव अ फैमिली ऑफ साइंटिस्ट्स, बट सब लोग म्यूजिशियंस हैं एंड वेरी गुड म्यूजिशियंस, लेकिन किसी ने परस्यू नहीं किया कभी भी. तो आफ्टर इंजीनियरिंग व्हेन आई आस्क्ड माय फादर, तो मैं बहुत प्रिपेयर करके आया था कि अगर ये बोलेंगे तो ये बोलूँगा, ये बोलेंगे तो ये बोलूँगा. आई हैड डिसेंट जॉब ऑफर, पर मेरे को वो नहीं करना था. तो मैं पूरा एक लिस्ट बना के आया था, 2 पेजेस का. मैंने रिसर्च किया हुआ था कि ये करूँ, ये बोलेंगे तो ये बोलूँगा, ये बोलेंगे ये बोलूँगा. लेकिन मैंने उनको बोला कि क्या मैं ये जॉब 1 साल बाद कर सकता हूँ, मेरे को और सीखना है 1 साल. तो ये ठीक है. तो फिर it started from there. Then I shifted to Delhi. I was learning at Gandharv Mahavidyalaya, if you know it. Gandharv Mahavidyalaya and Delhi Gharana. So I was learning classical there. तो इन 3 सालों में 2018 में मेरी इंजीनियरिंग खत्म हुई थी. तो इन 2-3 सालों में I completed my album. So now तो अब I am collecting funds and releasing one song at a time whenever
As
I
we
have
have heard
sufficient
them,
funds.
as we have heard them, we are literally telling you they're going to get a lot of recognition.
She means to say is they are going to rock.
Yeah, you're going to rock in a Arjit Singh way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And also, like, my question was this also, ki, like, in the college, was like when you started writing your song, when you started writing your first song, was it because of like a girl, or is it just like a hobby that started pehle se?
It was because of a girl. Yeah.
वो तो गानों से खैर
The first song only.
Still गानों से पता चल गया था वो. Also, like we are running very short, and we don't want to actually stop this. But like
Yes.
as I said, we are running very short.
Yeah.
We need to kind of move on to this.
Yeah. So let's do a last song for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, please subscribe to my channel. The name is Aseem Sharma, and Instagram भी कर लेना अगर करना है.
Sure.
Okay, so this song is called धुआं सा है. इसकी कोई स्टोरी नहीं है. This is just a song about life. जिंदगी भी क्या बस धुआं सा है, सांसें हैं या कश है बस नशा सा है. जिंदगी भी क्या बस धुआं सा है, सांसें हैं या कश है बस नशा सा है. मक्कारियों के खेल में कितने गहरे चल दिए, भूख और फरेब का कुआं सा है. जिंदगी भी क्या बस धुआं सा है. जदोजहद है पेट की, रोटी बिन औकात क्या. फितूर और जुनून है, अपने लिए जज्बात क्या. नीलाम है ये जिस्म भी और चाहतों के ढोंग है. नीलाम है ये जिस्म भी और चाहतों के ढोंग है. हर एक सांस बस यहाँ जुआ सा है. जिंदगी भी क्या बस धुआं सा है, सांस है या कश है बस नशा सा है. मक्कारियों के खेल में
कितने गहरे चल दिए भूख और फरेब का कुआं सा है, जिंदगी भी क्या बस धुआं सा है, सांसें है या कश है बस नशा सा है। Thank you so much.